Hello and welcome to another episode of SoFly. It's December. We're recording another show in the studio. This show's coming out. Today's January 15th.
Yeah, it'll be coming out January 15th.
Look at that preparation. Christmas is coming up for us. It would have already happened. Hope everyone had a good holiday break and a good New Year. And let's get into it. My name is Mitch, and got Aldo here again today.
Hey guys.
We've got Gab.
Gab, this is my name.
And we've got it's an interesting intro. And we've got a very special guest in the studio today, too, one we've been trying to get for a little while now. He's a rep. He's an incredible angler. He's an all-around awesome fella. He's from the Ottawa region as well. We've got Colin in the studio. Colin, how's it going?
Mr. Colin Huff.
Yes, sir. Glad we finally got this to work out, guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. Welcome.
Been a while trying to work together.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I met Colin when I worked at just Green Drake when him and his friends Mikey Lennox would come in.
Oh, Mikey. I remember Mikey, too.
You remember Mike Lennox would come in with, like, piles of change and buying fly tying materials with, like, dimes and pennies.
Just empty the pockets.
Yeah, it was amazing. They were, like, 12. And they would go, you guys, I know. I saw Mike Lennox a lot because he lived in the area. You guys would go like fish Dow's Lake and stuff with poppers for smallies and stuff. You guys were so amped. I loved it.
Oh man, Mikey. So Mikey actually was one of the guys that got me like really into the competitive stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because he was about 5 years older than I was, and so we would do weekend trips down to the States like all the time. Yeah. So he had a big influence on me there. But yeah, man, we were complete trout bums at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you were like Dow's Lake bums before until you could drive.
You could drive. Exactly.
Yeah,
but they had their license way before me, so I was bumming that hard.
Yeah. So Colin, you're a competitive angler. The rankings just came out. You're number 2 in Canada, right?
That's right.
Number 2 ranked Canadian angler. You work with Sims, correct?
Yeah.
Farbank.
Sims, Echo, Airflow, Lamson, Abel, and Ross.
Awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And you rep a
territory
from Saskatchewan to the Maritimes, so 2/3 of our country.
Yeah. So our
How does that
agency,
work?
my boss has. So the company that we have is called Woodside Agency.
Okay.
He has Sims for all of Canada, and he's got a rep out west called Scott Baker McGarva, and Rob and I do Eastern Canada, which is considered Saskatchewan of the Maritimes.
Jeez.
There's not that much in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, so the majority of that is Ontario and Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what brings you down to Toronto?
Yeah, so right now we're selling for fall 19, and we're doing a little sales tour through the GTA.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
And is your competitive season, obviously it's the winter. It's
wrapped up right now. Yeah. So we're starting to organize and plan out for 2019. So I got nothing huge planned. I'm actually going to be one of the main organizer for next year's Nationals, which we're holding at Canuck.
Oh, sick.
So that's going to take up a lot of my time. But besides that, I'm probably going to take a pass on Worlds next year, and I'll be looking at doing the Commonwealths in 2020 in New Zealand.
Oh, mama
nice.
All right, well, that's a lot of stuff that we could talk about right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like holy shit. That's a lot of
stuff to unpack.
That's jealous stuff right there.
Yeah.
But let's take a hop back and get into, like you mentioned, you got into fly fishing. Mike helped you kind of get into competitive stuff. How did you get started in the sport in general?
So my old man he was a lifelong angler. He's been guiding for a long time. He had his own fly shop in Ottawa, and I really learned the ropes from him at a really young age. And he was competing when I was really young, and I kind of got into it through that. So that's how I kind of got segued into the competitive scene. Mm-hmm. But fly fishing, like I was on his backpack when I was a year old.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like on the riverbank.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then when I was 13, I got a call from David Nonamura, who you guys may or may not know. He's a local boy, and he asked me if I wanted to compete on the Canadian youth fly fishing team at the national championships. And I said, I had to ask Pops because I was 13 at the time.
Yeah.
And it was being held in Mont Tremblant.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Sunday I had a big football game, so I couldn't I couldn't go down and pre-fish like the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
So I get down there like the night before the competition. They give me the whole 1-2 on, you know, the flies and the techniques and everything. And, you know, I thought, you know, it's just youth team, bunch of kids going up against like the best anglers in Canada. And we came out of it the top Canadian team.
Whoa.
Mikey won the Canadian Nationals.
Yeah.
Simon came second. And it was just like, and then that was just like the springboard for everything, right?
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, because growing up, I was huge into sports. So the whole competitive thing mixing with my passion was just like the perfect mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's Mont Tremblant too. What an interesting place to do it.
You say it was in Mont Tremblant. Was it is that the Devil River?
Le Diable.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Le Diable puis Pouvoir des Barous.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was 2 sessions on the Diable, which is probably one of the hardest wading rivers that I know that I've ever fished. We actually had the Commonwealth. I'll just jump forward, but we had the Commonwealth there in 2016. There was all kinds of different countries, and they said like this is the toughest wading river. The sketchiest, like big boulders, you know, kind of slimy rocks, and you got to be careful because
it's funny you say that because it's really because we don't have those condition here, but the rivers the closest to the beginning of well, I'm gonna sound so boring. The Canadian Shield, like it's like the beginning of it. They're all like that. The Jean-Cartier River. I've been on the North Shore of Quebec.
Of course,
they're nasty river.
Yeah.
They are
beautiful. Though,
oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And like crazy fishing.
Yeah.
Super technical.
Yeah. So are you talking kind of like in the Gaspé Peninsula area, or are you thinking
not even like the other side of this, like our side of the St. Lawrence, like,
gotcha.
Like, but the like closer to like they're just like really big boulders, and there's a type of algae that I've never seen in Ontario there that like really make you like oh my God, fall in the water.
I think I just had an idea for like a new product. Like a new wader product.
Big idea. Let's go.
Oh my God, here we go. Okay, so it's like waders like normal, but on the inside it's little pouches that you can inflate if you need to like make a quick move. So you can kind of just bob down the river if it's tough wading.
It's like a fart cushion for your
waders. And then
waders.
you can just let it out once you want to just wade normal. All those looking at me like this is an awesome idea. Yeah. Do you want to go in on this?
Yeah, definitely. So wait, you pump them up?
You pump them up, so it's like big inflatable pants that you just bob.
Well, Colin, talk to Sims. Here we go.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, big ideas.
So like collab.
Yeah. So actually, that's funny you say that because when we were preparing for the Commonwealth, our team strategy, because we knew we were falling in, we knew that, you know, to get to the other side of the river that, you know, some people can't get to, we gotta go after it, right? And you were filling up your waders, and it's dangerous and it's not safe. So we're like, okay, like let's just wet wade.
Yeah.
So took off the waders, throw in the boots, knee pads.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Taped her down and just sent it.
Knee pads.
Yeah, man.
Good idea.
It's a very good idea.
Like the full tactical. Like,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So good. So from competitive angling though, how did you keep going? How did it keep growing?
So
passion.
I mean that year was kind of like the stepping stone, right? So
And what year was this?
This was 2008.
2008. Okay.
Yeah. So the whole camaraderie, I think, was a big part of it. The whole team aspect.
Something Ian mentioned when he
was working together as a team to reach that final goal. But so my first few sessions went pretty bad, right? Because it was my first time competing. I was nervous. I'd never nymphed before. I've never, never done any of this stuff. And the guys were there for 3 days, and they got to fish with some of the, the top anglers like Todd Oishi and Terrence and all these, anglers who've been doing it for a lot of time. So they had an idea of what to do.
Yeah.
Plus they had been studying and, practicing.
Yeah, they were warmed up.
But I wasn't, and I blanked my first session, probably blanked my second, and then I kind of started, getting there towards the end. And my last session, we were going into it. We were in, I think we were third or second place. We were doing really well, and I knew I had to, pull one out for the team, and I ended up winning my last session.
Oh, nice.
And I remember getting off the boat, and telling people how I did, and everybody just being so happy and hugging me, and like,
Oh, that's awesome.
just that feeling of,
Yeah.
helping out your team in that way
Yeah.
was like, that was just a moment that I'll probably remember forever. And it was definitely kind of the gateway into.
That's a nice moment too.
Yeah, it was.
Give you the hitch, right? Like
Ian
to do it more.
Ian talked about that, like
Yeah.
about competitive angling, having that, like that, like that camaraderie
The
and
teamwork and the
It was the first.
camaraderie.
It was the
that
first thing he
family.
said. We're like, "What do you like about it?" And he said, "The team." Said everything.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah. And you compete with Ian, like he's your
Yeah.
teammate.
He sure
Right.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
He's we've been to England together. We fished the Commonwealths in Mont Tremblant, and we just got back from Ireland.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we've been on a team for a while, and now we're kind of competing at the national level together. We kind of morphed the team there, and because he's a great guy, like
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
knowledgeable,
Mm-hmm.
wants like super dialed and technical,
Mm-hmm.
where he's got like a plan for everything. So he's a great guy to have on the team.
Yeah.
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 Have you had his chili? His wife's chili?
No, man.
I've
Really-
heard really good things.
Super tasty.
Yeah, love chili.
Yeah.
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 Super
No,
tasty.
she's
Yeah.
I went there one night, and Ian's like, "Man, you gotta. My wife's food is just off the charts." Like, so I'm like super stoked. I like hot food,
Yeah.
Indian food. I get there. I'm there for 30 minutes. Nothing's cooking. Doorbell rings. Delivery Indian.
Oh, no way.
I was so let down. They
Ian,
laughed.
what?
That's
What the
hilarious.
fuck?
Come on, dude. So I took a rain check on that, and
That's funny.
yeah,
You gotta hold him on to it though.
Oh,
You're gonna be like,
100%,
dude, you told me. Like,
yeah.
I gotta taste it.
No, I have to.
What fly shop did your dad own in Ottawa?
It was called Brightwater.
Oh,
cool.
right.
I didn't.
And
I
your
never,
business
I
is
never went
because you're a guide as well,
Yeah, I do some guiding on the side.
and that's still through Brightwater.
Well, so I kind of did a kind of a play off words on that, and
Right.
So that's called Brightwater Anglers,
Mm.
and it was just kind of a thing. So my dad's fly shop was Brightwater, and just keep the family tradition
Yeah.
alive,
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of, I guess.
It's a great
there.
name.
Super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it in Ottawa or was it on?
Yeah, it was in
Gatineau
Ottawa.
side? In Ottawa.
It was
Okay.
in Ottawa, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went to Brightwater, unfortunately.
No.
I didn't. Yeah.
I would have.
Yeah.
I didn't. Probably wasn't in fly fishing at the time.
Yeah, the 2 years I spent in Ottawa, that was long gone. I think. It was
Went to
like-
Green Drake.
It was like 5 years ago.
Went to
Yeah,
Green- you
Green
went to
Drake.
Green
Yeah, I remember Green
Went to
Drake.
Float Plaid and Fly.
Yeah.
Full paddle and fly. Good
That was
times.
Mitchie.
Yeah, that was Mitch.
See, that was
fun.
already gone too when I was in Ottawa.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was, what's so fun is working in the fly fishing world, like actually working in it. Like being able to just like make money doing that. It's so fun.
It's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
I lucked out.
Yeah, seriously.
I lucked out. And you know what? It kind of happened by fluke. So last December I was just wrapping up. Hold on, let me back this up.
Yeah.
Last May, I did a cross Canada tour. I rented a F-150, and I was bringing this big old Giesler boat out to Randy Taylor, who moved to Bowen Island. And in between, I stopped in the Parklands in Manitoba because they have the best lake fishing in all of Canada. I'll
Yeah.
say that like loud and proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool because you never hear about that.
I know, man. It's
Maybe it's a
crazy.
good thing.
It is crazy. No, full plug to the Parklands because they got some great fisheries. They manage it really well. They got cracking big browns, rainbows, and tiger trout,
Oh, the tiger trout.
which is
Ooh.
just
Tiger trout.
next level.
I
Dude.
just
always
look
forget
really
about
cool.
tiger trout.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't sleep on tiger trout.
Yeah. Fuck, that's
And so I brought the boat out west, get back. It was like a month and a half long tour. And so I get back, I'm pretty broke. I don't have any money. I just spent it all.
Right.
Kind of looking for a job. And and I get a call from Rob Dorcas, who I've known for a while. And I knew he was in the fishing industry. And, we stayed close and we fished together a few times and tried to get out hunting. But out of the blue, he called me. I don't know if it was a fluke or if somebody kind of nudged him towards me. But anyway, he gives me a call. He's like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, not much. Just got back from this cross-Canada tour, kind of out of work and just hanging out, fishing." He's like, "Well, you want some work?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, for sure." He's like, "What are you doing right now?" I'm like, "Nothing." He's like, "Okay, come over." So I'm like, okay, grab my steel toes, grab my gloves, figure I'm going to do some landscaping at his house. So I show up, ready to go.
Yeah.
and,
Ready to work.
and he's like, no, dude, get inside. Like, come work with Sims, like with the product.
And you're like, okay.
I'm like, oh
Cool.
my God, no way. And so it just kind of worked from there. And at the time, I was still in school at Algonquin College, studying environmental tech. And so I wrapped that up in December. And then January 1st, I started full-time working for Rob. And it's been a sweet ride, man.
No, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah. Sims too, like getting called up to help work.
Well,
with
it's
Sim,
like,
so
the
wicked.
yeah, it's like,
It's an amazing company.
It's the
Echo,
best.
Airflow too.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, fly fishing is fairly a small world. So when you're able to make a living out of it, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely,
know, like
man.
it's
Making
Especially
a
as a
living on
Especially
your
as a
passion.
Canadian.
yeah. As a Canadian, that's what I
Yeah.
was going to say. Like if you're in the States, I mean,
Mhm.
it's different. But in Canada, you know, like a market's a little
Yeah.
bit smaller.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, there's not too many people that can make a living out of it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And one of those guys in that small circle is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely pretty fortunate.
That's
yeah,
wicked.
yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
great.
So you're based out of Ottawa. You just bought a house. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
In Chelsea.
In Chelsea, Quebec.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Chelsea's sick.
So yeah,
Chelsea is sick.
I really like Chelsea, and
Chelsea's
I
a
like
great little spot, man.
Wakefield.
Born
So
and raised
beautiful.
there. Yeah,
yeah. Born and raised in Chelsea.
born and raised in Chelsea.
Oh, rad.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Day one Chelsea boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, got a house and got a
Dog.
little pup.
Yeah, that new
Yeah.
dog. I've been seeing
So
that on,
cute.
on
Man,
Instagram.
she's
It's awesome.
she's a heartbreaker, I tell you.
Yeah, we're like we're a fly fishing podcast, and you're a great angler, but you're an all around outdoor dude. Like you hunt, you know, you got hunting dogs,
Yeah, man.
you know, like you
Yeah.
do it all. You do it all.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, I definitely love hunting. Got into it at a young age. I'll attribute a lot of that to my uncle Donald Tom, who also
Is a legend.
is a
Oh yeah,
fucking legend.
like a legend around
Yeah.
Ottawa Gatineau, I guess.
Well, more-
I'd say international,
I'd say
man.
international. Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's quite a guy. He's like the biggest outdoorsman. Like loves hunting. Since the day I met him, he's always he was like there when I was born, right?
Right.
So he's like my second father. But he's always had English setters. The man, when he was growing up, he would take off the entire fall just to go hunting every day with his English setters for grouse and woodcock.
So good.
That's amazing.
Like, he would build his work schedule around hunting,
Yeah.
and still does.
Yeah,
and still does.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So no, I definitely. He played a big role in me getting into competitive fly fishing as well. He's actually the coach of our Commonwealth fly fishing team right now.
Oh, no
so
way.
he comes to Ireland and he comes to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so awesome. Man.
Yeah.
Being able to.
Just stay back and then give advice.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
man.
oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
super rad.
Yeah, and then yeah, he's a good man.
What a lifestyle. It's all pretty awesome.
And then also you do your guiding for the bulk of it in Canuck,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So my old man, he did a lot of his guiding at Canuck. He was the head guy there for a while,
Right.
and
And for those of you who don't know, what is Canuck?
Canuck is like, it's actually the biggest hunting game preserve in North America.
Really?
It's 65,000 acres large.
Whoa! I
didn't know
it
that it was that big.
That's huge.
Hey,
Cheers.
cheers! Boink, bink.
Pink.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It is a big place. It's got tons of lakes. It was actually established, I think, in like 1674 or something by like King Louis,
Yeah.
and since then it's just been kind of passed back and forth. Now it's owned by 4 different private guys.
Okay, because it was owned by Fairmont.
Yeah.
Right.
Fairmont owned Canuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Chateau Montebello.
Oh
Yeah.
right, Montebello. Oh, so Montebello owned Canuck at one point.
Yeah, the Fairmont.
The Fairmont.
The Fairmont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's
it's an amazing spot. It's rivers, lakes, it's stocked with rainbows,
Mm.
brookies, big lake with wild lakers. You got bass, pike. It's the full shebang. You can do a Land Rover experience through the Fairmont. You can go
Ooh, that'd be
clay
sick.
shooting in the fall. You can do hunting. It's just like the
And
It's just a
hunting like
wilderness, like
The
basically
amenities to.
everything, or-
Oh, sorry.
No,
Dad.
no,
Wait.
sorry.
No, sorry.
I was like,
No,
in
I'm
terms
sorry.
of hunting, is it like moose, deer, grouse, like
Moose,
everything,
yeah,
or
yeah.
really cool?
yeah.
See, so wait, Montebello. Okay, so Montebello, like that chateau, that big lodge is the thing I'm thinking about. Is that part of Connacht?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's like outside.
No,
of
but
it.
they're like brothers, I guess.
Yeah.
They do a lot of business together.
I just remember passing
They
that
send clients back and forth.
that lodge like on the highway. You pass that
man.
thing, and you're like, "Whoa, look at that!"
That's a spectacular.
They all look
Yeah.
the same. Like you look at the Chateau Frontenac, the Montebello Lodge. You go in Banff. They kind of all had that same.
Well, it's
kind
all
of
under
look.
the same like company.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canuck is.
Wow,
I didn't know it was the I didn't know it was the largest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
large and in
sick.
charge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to be proud of. That's cool.
And Nationals are there next year, right?
Nationals are going down there next year.
Boom.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna firm up some dates on those. It's a great location because every team can have their own private cabin.
And the cabins are beautiful.
The cabins are
They're stunning.
knockout.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I saw the website. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice, and you don't have to hire a bus to go lake to lake. Guys can just drive to the lakes, and they're stocked with great fish. And in the fall, the fishing's just amazing. The colors are next to nothing.
Right.
It's nice to have like a big, vast amount of wilderness that's like cared for and protected, and
Yeah,
And like just to put it in perspective, because you say it's the biggest reserve. How far away from Ottawa is that? Like 45 minutes.
that's fucking crazy.
Everybody
Like,
from
that's
Ottawa
insane.
should be going there all the time.
So
Constantly.
yeah,
But I mean, like
Yeah.
just to talk about the proximity of what we have, like
That's a really good point.
Dude, you're
Yeah.
like in the capital of Canada. You drive 45 minutes. You're in the biggest
Incredible
reserve.
trout and
Yeah.
fishing and hunting.
And hunting.
That's really cool.
65,000 acres. Like, oh my God.
65,000 acres.
I didn't know that. That's
If-
insane.
If there's
And we're
one
from
thing
Ottawa.
one thing that I miss about living in Ottawa is the proximity of all that. You know, I
Right.
kind of miss.
You know
that
what
a lot.
though? I remember growing up in Ottawa and being like, "Oh, there's no trout, man. I got to go to Calabogie or I got to
true.
go to like
Or
New York,
upstate New York.
which is what Aldo and I would do all the time."
yeah.
Yeah.
But now I look at it, I'm thinking like, "Well, Canuck was like, it's really like not that far." It's like
It's
why
not
the
that
hell
far
did
at all,
we-
man.
It's
Like,
awesome.
if you think about it, there's not that unless you go into the Gatineau Park and really get exploring some of those,
Yeah,
private, not private, I guess, but
just like
Little wild
secluded.
birds.
You gotta really put
Yeah.
your time in to
Oh,
find
yeah.
trout. It's,
Yeah.
it's mostly
you're putting your time in.
And you're putting your time
It's
in.
it's either
It's warm
it's
water.
Canuck,
right?
it's Tremblant,
Mhm.
it's
The Chateauguay.
upstate New York. It's the Chateauguay.
I remember
Yeah.
Calabogie having a couple lakes that were like stocked with bows,
Yeah.
but like it would
And
be
Splake,
like
yeah.
and
Yep.
Splake. But,
Yep.
you know,
What
it's
about like La Vérendrye and stuff? Is it too far? It's a little far, right?
Yeah,
That part?
you're pushing it now.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Easy
like,
gab.
No,
easy
no.
gab.
So I used to
Push it.
drive like 13 hours.
I know,
like,
right?
With my
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah. No, I haven't spent a whole lot of time up there, but there's and then like Papineau LaBelle Park.
Yeah, no, but those
like-
parks are all touching each other's. When you look at the map, it's like 3 times Algonquin Park. You're like, whoa, this
Yeah.
place is
Yeah.
huge.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
1 sec, I'm just gonna grab a bit more beer.
Little beer refill for you there, Mitchie?
That's what you need.
Yeah, it's a little bit more
A
beer.
beer zoo.
I like this beer a lot.
I think it might actually be Dagger.
It's really good.
It's really good.
I really
Like my first glass,
So where'd you make this?
There's a really Mitchie.
Here's a spill.
Spillsies.
Here's a spills.
Spillaroo.
Spilly Mitchie.
I don't like this beer anymore.
This beer gets made in a facility called Brunswick Brewhouse. Guys who started Brunswick, really interesting.
It's all foam.
That's where all the flavors at. No.
Yeah, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mitch can't pour beers.
No, no.
I can't either. So
Brunswick's a really cool. It's a brew house in the East End, in like East York.
Yeah.
And what they do is they make beer for
You got a
other
mustache?
companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. So what they do is their whole mandate is, beer has to be fresh. You have to, ingest fresh beer. But some companies are a portfolio company first. They were a portfolio company. And they're like, well, what would make super fresh beer is if we just made this beer, your beer, here.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get all the ingredients and they get the recipes, and it's a huge production facility for other breweries
Wow.
that they represent,
Okay.
that their portfolio company represents. So they get huge contracts like Ace Hill or Dagger or
Are those the
Like-
guys in Ottawa?
what?
There's one of those in Ottawa too. There's a big one in Ottawa.
Oh,
I
yeah?
think. Yeah.
It's a great model, like if you have the means to sell
Not
the
as
beer.
big, I don't think, but it's a Bob Cajun beer. They were at one point bringing Ottawa. I don't know where.
Huh.
Huh. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
and then there is that.
So, should we talk about Canuck a little bit more? Because like Canuck blows my fucking mind.
I know, me too. Because
Yeah.
I've never heard of Canuck before.
I saw-
and
well,
I
I saw-
live in Quebec my whole life, and then I didn't hear about it before I moved to Toronto. So I'm kind of like,
That's true,
What
yeah.
the fuck?
There was a cool post that Chris posted of the double header.
That was not a Canuck.
That was.
Oh, that wasn't at Canuck. Where was that?
No, at Canuck we get the triple headers.
Ooh,
mic
even
drop.
Better. Yeah.
How long have you been fishing Canuck? Since you're
No, dude, since
forever ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Since you were
So
in
your
your
dad
dad's backpack.
Your dad was a head guide.
yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he did a lot of guiding there, and then I'd go there on bring your kid to work days.
That's pretty sweet.
So they had a hatchery at the time, which they just rebooted, which they're going to start replenishing their lakes with now. But at the time, the hatchery was all the excess fluids were going into the whitefish lake, and they had a huge algae bloom every year. So they had to shut it down and kind of rejig things. But in between that, they had this kind of like a little tailings pond, I guess.
Yep.
Which they put all the brood stocks in.
No.
And so if you wanted to teach somebody how to cast, that's where you'd bring them. So Pops would bring the guys that he was teaching how to cast, and I'd go on the other side and just, flinging my black woolly bugger around. And I was always hooking up, right? and he'd get sick and tired of it. He's like, "Okay, Colin, like, I want to get my clients into some fish. Let's swap around." So I'd go to the other side, and we'll hammer them from the other side.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, great memories at Canuck, man. It's that's where I really learned how to fish. I think it's a great spot. Like, just
Would you say that's your home water, like
Sure.
in your heart of hearts,
for
kind
sure,
of thing? Yeah.
sure, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be comfortable saying that for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a great spot, man.
Yeah, it looks rad. It looks super rad.
It's been around for how long?
Well, it was first established in, I think, 1674
Whoa.
by King Louis the whatever number from La Belle, France.
Yeah.
Probably 13. Just saying.
And then it's traded hands of millions.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times, and now it's owned privately now by 4 individuals who are really looking after it really well. They're developing it. They got all kinds of new ideas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
good.
lot of good shit going on there right now.
Nice.
They got the NCC involved.
Mm.
They're really thinking long term about conservation, and
That's great.
they got McGill students in there studying, and it's there's a great network going on right
Could
now.
become a good example for what other people should do with like their lodges and stuff.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
it could be. It could be a new type of.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. New
Yeah.
thinking's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool. And so you guide there. You got it anywhere else?
I got a bit like up in Tremblant. And,
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I've never fished the Diable.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I've never fished the
know,
Diable. I've seen
Is
pictures.
it Trou du Diable, I think? Something like that? Is that
No, that's a brewery. That's
Oh,
also a
right.
brewery.
That's right.
Yeah. No. I mean,
In Shawinigan.
In Shawinigan,
Yeah.
ouais, my grandpa lived there.
Yeah.
I should know that.
yeah. I mean, the Diab is great fishery.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, but I could save you a trip by kicking you in the knees 5 times because you're getting that bruised up.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
dude, it's a serious river for sure.
Hmm.
But technical, it's like your classic pocket water, deep, trenched. It's a fun river to fish if you want to fish hopper dropper or like single stimmies.
Mm.
Like, it is fun.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like the Jacques Cartier where I grew up.
yeah,
A little bit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge boulders, wipe out all the time, and
yeah.
yeah, it's
Just
bucket water basically.
yeah, I love
You
that.
go fish with my dad. He's like, right in front of that rock, and I'm like, how do you know? And then he goes, catch
Yeah.
fish. Like he knows like all the rocks and stuff. It's really like bucket water.
So was your dad fly fishing?
oh yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that's how I got into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. The old family looperoo.
Still does.
Yeah,
Maybe not
you
as
can still
often,
huck
but-
a line.
Oh yeah. No, he's in his mid-50s. He's okay.
Okay.
looks older than he is, but whatever.
Whoa, Gab!
Oh, he
jeez,
listen.
Gab,
That's why
my
I said
God,
that. He listened to
Gab,
our
oh my
podcast.
God.
Oh my God.
It's a good thing it's after Christmas. He can't beat you when you get home.
Oh yeah.
Well, you couldn't anyway.
Oh my God, Gab!
Slammed.
You're just roasting your dad.
I know,
Shots fired.
Because you know what? I know he listened to it. So I'm like, fuck you, Dad.
Oh my God! Jesus!
slams in a
He's
row.
ruthless, savage fan.
Oh my God.
You're
Whose
wrong.
man's is this?
Y'all wrong for this.
Dude,
Happy
I'm
New Year's, pops.
telling you, man.
So you're going to be doing the old Commonwealth soon, eh? 2020.
2020.
Would New
2020
Zealand
in
be
New
the most
Zealand.
exotic location you've ever been to?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Zealand
Yeah.
looks insane.
Yeah, New Zealand would be pretty far out. I've been pretty lucky. Like I've been at, Czech, France,
Wow.
Ireland,
Wow.
England.
Wow.
So, but that's New Zealand would be. I mean, it's, if you're a fly fisherman, like shit, where do you want to go, right?
Yeah.
First answer everybody's going to give you is New Zealand.
Yeah.
So to have the chance to go there and, compete for Canada and fulfill, that childhood dream of going to New Zealand is just like a double knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be so good.
So that's interesting. I have a question about that whole competing in New Zealand. Like, the way competitive angler was explained to me is like you catch not so big fish, but you catch them regularly. But I feel like in New Zealand, it's like you stalking really big trout and then move on. And
Yeah.
So how does that work in terms of making points in competition?
It's totally different, right?
Yeah.
You got to
yeah.
change your approach.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you got to change the way, because you're not going to go. You might not go in and smoke 20 fish. It might just be 2 fish to win a session kind of thing. So you really got to
Right.
change your approach.
Okay.
And that's why we go to these places. We don't just go in thinking we know someone. We hire a local guide and
Oh yeah.
we do our research and
Yeah.
really do our due diligence on figuring out.
Probably go a little bit before, like figuring.
Oh yeah, we
shit
go
out and
a
stuff.
week or two in advance, fish the waters, scout all the rivers, and really try and dial it in.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like for Ireland, you were there a week before, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great competition. Super, I wouldn't say technical. There were small fish in the river. One of the rivers was really technical. The other one just had a ton of small fish.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, working through the small fish to get to the counters, which are 20 centimeters.
Mm.
And then like on my last session on the Quiggery, I get off the bus and because they give you your beat.
Yeah.
So I get off the bus and, I'm looking around at the guys. They're like, ooh, they're making that face like, God damn, you got that beat? I'm like, shut up, really? So I get there and I see my beat. I'm like, it is flat as piss on a pot, like no structure.
Oh my God.
like just
Yeah.
frog water, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn. And I haven't practiced this stuff. Like, I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
But so we had the week before, we brought in a multi-time world champion, David Arquet from Spain.
I just bought some of his leaders.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So he's the man. That guy, I learned so much from him in 2 weeks. And kind of the approach I took from him was, on a section of river like this, like take your time, really work it slow, and because you're not going to have a whole lot of opportunities. So that really settled in for me. And I was like, I just need 1 or 2 fish here. So I just, I took 2.5 hours to work. It was about 200 yards.
Oh wow.
So like
Slow.
slow
Yeah.
it down. And I managed 3 fish and got a second in the session, which was
Boom.
a, it
That's
was
pretty cool.
That's
Sweet.
pretty awesome, man.
So you got the shitty water and finished second.
Yeah. So looking back on it, like that was probably one of my sessions where I was like, okay, like I've really progressed.
yeah.
Right.
Whereas, in like a 3-fish session doesn't sound like a big knockout, but like in that kind of setting, in that water on the 5th session, once it's been pounded by 5 world-class anglers,
Right.
then it's like, okay, like I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
When you put it in perspective.
Right.
You know,
100%.
It's pretty intense.
What river was that?
It was called the Quiggery.
That's sick. The Quiggery.
Quiggery River.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
you're in Ireland.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And so in 2012, I was there for the Youth World Championships.
Yeah.
So I got to fish it before, and I got to fish all those venues before actually. So that was nice, kind of having like a a bit of knowledge going there
Yeah, for sure.
instead of just going in blind.
What was your like approach when you came up to that frog water, that flat water? What was going through your mind?
I'm like, single nymph, size 18, unweighted, just really fish it, strategic, fan cast.
Yep.
Wait, look for risers. If I see a riser, approach it with it, put down the nymphing rod, just grab a single dry, like a small size 18F fly.
Yep.
And like really just take advantage of each small situation.
Yep.
So yeah, it was just really breaking it down kind of systematically.
Right, and taking having a lot of patience to figure out every little nuance.
It's fully patience, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that, you might not get a fish to the last 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And just really sticking out and staying confident, because that's the big thing, because people get down on themselves, right?
Right.
If you're not, especially in the lake setting,
Yeah.
where you're in a boat with somebody
Oh my god.
who's smoking them,
Yeah.
you can get really fucked.
Well, yeah.
Have you been in that situation?
I've been on both sides of it, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shitty when you're on the other side for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like you say, it can be easy to get yourself down.
Oh man, yeah. You start fumbling, rethinking things.
Yeah.
What the biggest thing that guys do that's a huge mistake is they start doing things that they're not used to,
Mm-hmm.
things that they haven't practiced. Right.
Mm.
That's where you really start to go wrong.
Yeah.
Where you start, changing the way you fish it, and
Yeah.
the thing that you're confident with, and trying to match what another guy's doing,
Yeah.
even though it's what you're doing isn't great.
Yeah.
But that's how you really get caught up.
It's like that typical saying, and like you hear that in hockey too. Like when like a good scorer can't score, like, oh, you gotta go back to basic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
like,
in a way. 100%.
don't go too complicated. It's not working. Just keep it simple.
Or just stay in your wheelhouse.
Stay in
Yeah,
your house,
yeah.
man. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if I had to think of myself as an angler, I'd say I'm like the most utilitarian angler.
Okay, yeah.
Like just base.
Yeah.
I like to keep it really easy. My fly box, I don't have a million different flies. I got maybe 3 flies with different weights,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and just keeping it, keeping it easy. A fish is a fish. They're going to eat whatever,
It's a really good point, actually. Yeah.
just keeping it easy.
Just have different ways to fish a fly.
Yeah.
Instead of having different flies to fish.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I've learned, like fishing with Aldo and Chris this summer. Like for your nymph, for example, you don't need a whole lot of different patterns.
No.
Just change beads or something.
No, all you need
same
is a
nymphs.
squirmy wormy, right?
Yeah, but
You
I'm
just
like,
need squirmy worms.
same flies, but like with
4.6 mil
different beads. Like
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
you don't.
Various squirmy worms.
All
Yeah.
you need is various,
Squirmy is a word.
various
No, you just need the pink one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
with various densities
No.
of sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we had a moment like that, Gab, up in Attawapiskat, where you were sort of like,
The first day,
yeah.
like we get there in Attawapiskat, and I was just going to use that as an example. Like you guys caught fish in 5 minutes,
Yeah, we were
and
smoking
then
fish.
and then I'm like,
Smoking 'em.
and then I'm like, dude, I haven't caught a fish in 15 minutes. Like I'm freaking out. I was like getting
Oh, but
angry
the
at
craziest,
myself.
the craziest thing was all you had to do was look at me and just do what I was doing because I'm.
But I did. I guess I didn't catch my first bite on a
It's
popper.
okay. It's okay.
But no, but like and then I cat, and then finally after maybe 45 minutes, which is ridiculous when you put it in perspective,
Oh my
I
God.
got like this
You got a
like
great
45 inches by like, and then I'm like sitting down and I'm like I was getting angry because I didn't catch a fish in 45 minutes,
Yeah, up there.
and then
was
now
unique.
I just caught the biggest fish of my entire life.
It's
Like
tough, it's
how
tough.
like it's yeah.
seeing people catching fish and you're like, what the hell am I doing
Yeah.
wrong? You know.
yeah.
What do you think about Team Canada on the world stage?
That's a good question. We're still on the world stage. We're still in our infancy, I'd say. Still playing catch up for a lot of reasons. I think we don't have as many competitions. We don't have the rivers. We don't have the amount of anglers a lot of countries have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're still building. It's still in our building blocks,
Mm.
but we're on the right pace. Like for example, the Commonwealth. Geez, we're on it. If you look at it at the way it's been, we're killing it right now at the Commonwealth level. But you can't really compare the Commonwealth to the Worlds just because you're excluding all those European countries, which are just so dialed.
Right.
But no, we're on the right track. There's a lot of good things going on, and I think we just got to keep, bringing these guys, bringing guys like David Arquet, bringing guys like like Martin, who's a multi-time world champion, and just continuing to learn and practice, and that's,
Keep your head down and keep building.
Yeah, that's it. And just putting as many arrows in the quiver as possible.
Yeah.
And it's just experience, right? Because if you look at, for example, Donald, he in 2009, he came second at the Worlds in Scotland, and you know what, I think so much of it is just experiencing and just being able to adapt, because you know situations now. You've been in a situation where, okay, that fish is rising. I know what to do. So it's not always just about being young, innovative, getting hard after it, and practicing every day. A lot of it is just experience, right? And you know, being like the past few times the world champions have been like 55 years old, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So
because they know.
Because they just know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not funny, eh?
But it's true, because you get presented into so many different situations, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And fly fishing's like, it's not like basketball where your career ends at 33.
Yeah.
You can power through that, and you just keep getting better.
It's a funny thing. Like, it's so true. Like, John Gierak actually had something to say about that. He was talking about, well, we had him on the show, and he was talking about how, well, also in his book, A Fly Rod of Your Own, he talks about how you could cast, you can be a great caster, and then someone comes up and asks you how to cast like you're casting, and you just can't tell them.
Oh, it's 100%.
And then they're watching, and you start fumbling.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest shit. Like, it's a learned thing, but it's like not a thing you can necessarily express.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you're good at something that you're good at explaining how to do it.
Exactly, right?
It's just like an innate thing. The more you do it, the longer you do it, the more you just get good at it without being able to understand why.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's the volume of situations you've been.
Yeah. It's like into your muscle, into your just fibers.
Yeah.
Getting all down in it, eh?
Yeah. Who do you think on in terms of the world stage? What country impresses you?
Right now
most?
it's Spain. Like not even
close.
Those guys are just so.
Like Ian said the same thing.
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah. I think he did. But it's the truth. Like those guys are just on top of the world right now. Yeah, and then you got the Czechs and the French.
Yeah.
The Americans are really great as well. But those are your top teams right there. I'd say like consistently on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Competitive fly fishing. So cool. So crazy.
Yeah, no, it's fun, right? Because you learn so much from it.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to learn, because that's where everything's kind of developing at such a fast pace.
Right.
That's where the techniques are coming from. That's where European nymphing's coming from.
Yep.
All these new leaders, all these new flies. Like it's just kind of, it's the innovation that's coming from it.
Yeah.
That makes you really, really learn and get good, I think.
Yeah.
Do you see any good prospect? Like, do you see any younger ones sometimes that you're like, yeah, you're probably gonna do it? Like,
for sure, man.
Like we have how's our youth program?
So yeah, for sure. So I came up through the ranks on the youth team. That was like the best thing that ever happened to me. And now I'm actually one of the coaches for the Canadian youth fly fishing team.
That's awesome.
And we had a really good run. Right now it's kind of stagnant. So we're really working on getting some new programs back into it, because that's the future, right? And we need more kids in it. We need more people getting into fly fishing.
Yeah.
And it's not just competitive fly fishing, I feel. It's just introducing people to the sport, right?
Yeah.
And letting them take whatever they want away from it and go in whichever direction they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
As long as people are casting, we're good.
Where's the rhyme there? I thought you're.
No, there's
Yeah, no, I was waiting for it.
As long as
you're
people are
dropping.
casting.
We're lasting? Yeah.
Sure. We're last, yeah.
I don't know what else wrong
That
with
was
it was
awful. It was awful. Don't forget about it.
Should we take a 2?
We should take a 40 Creek.
Yeah.
Oh,
40 Creek time.
40 Creek.
Euro nymphing. I want to just chat about that, because Euro nymphing is rad, and I totally was ushered into it or learned about it first from Mike Lennox.
Yeah.
And this other guy that used to come into Flip Pound and Fly, Alan. Do you guys by any chance of the fact of the matter know Alan? Do you know what I mean?
Did he have like really big glasses? Was he a big guy?
Yeah, he had
was
big glasses.
He was a big guy, right?
He had big glasses. Yeah, he was a big
guy?
dude,
He was a
big
fridge-
glasses.
He like repaired fridges for a living.
He
or something.
totally did. You know who I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
He came in.
Shout out Alan.
Shout out Alan.
Alan was sick.
Alan would come
I
in
love
to
that
Green
guy.
Drake on Saturdays at noon,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "Oh, you going fishing today?" He's like, "Already went." I'm like, "Where?" He's like, "Shadow Game."
Stop.
I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, hit the river at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
He would fish the morning hatch only,
come on.
and then drive back to
Yeah.
Ottawa, and then come to Green Drake and
He's
be
hardcore.
like, I'd be like, and he'd tell us how he did it.
But he was the best.
Big Al knew what was going on.
I loved Big Al,
Yeah.
man. He would come in to Float Paddle Fly, and we would just talk about stuff like. And Euro nymphing at the time was a big thing he wanted to chat about.
It's funny.
And he gave me DVDs, and he was like, "I'm building a 10-foot rod," and like all
No
the stuff.
way.
No way.
Way.
That's back in the heyday too,
Yeah.
like early stages.
Yeah, early
Yeah.
stage when it was called check nymphing.
Check
yeah,
nymphing,
it was
yeah.
check nymphing,
And you
right?
tie those flies with the floss, and you do the
Dude,
braid.
we ran some weird ass setups. Like Mikey,
Yeah.
he would run straight backing leaders,
Whoa,
like straight
that's crazy.
straight backing leaders right to his cider, and then right off that is flies.
Oh man.
Like just the most supple,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
yeah.
most sensitive setup ever. It was hilarious, but I couldn't help but try the same thing,
Yeah.
Of course.
and it was
Effective.
of course, man.
Yeah.
Of course, but as things kind of progressed, came out with your own nymphing lines, and you're not able to, like Phipps Moosh kind of, which is the kind of the board of competitive fly fishing.
Yeah.
The governing board, you'd say, kind of enforced some rules that you couldn't have a leader double the length of your rod, so you couldn't have more than 20 feet off your line, because the French were just running straight mono, and where do you draw the line, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got your Euro nymphing line, and then you run whatever mono you want, and you got your indicator cider material.
Yeah.
Off that, you usually run a little tippet ring, just to make things a lot more efficient. If ever you break off, or
And it's way better with a tippet ring.
it's so much better.
Life is way easier
Yeah.
with a tippet ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't deny the effectiveness of Euro nymphing, right? And I think it's taken a little while to catch on, because there was a lot of doubters and a lot of people, saying like, "Oh, well, that's not really fly fishing. You're not even casting. You're just lobbing flies," which is fucking true.
Yeah, you are lobbing
But-
flies.
Listen, boy,
But you're still using a fly?
you want to catch fish?
Yeah.
Let's go into Euro nymphing.
Yeah.
Tie on a worm, son.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I love the squirmy worm. Actually, you wrote a pretty awesome on bright water anglers.
Yep.
You have your blog, right? And you wrote a blog about the squirmy worm and the bung, and I loved
Yeah,
that
man.
piece.
You wrote a blog about the squirmy worm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the squirmy worm. I mean, it's no
There you
it's
said
no,
it.
It's no secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no secret. I've talked about it
No, man.
basically for the past 6
We're
episodes.
putting it on a T-shirt.
It works.
Yeah.
Can't we?
Like people,
We're cleaning, yeah.
people are like,
do it.
oh,
Let's do
it's
it.
not a fly, it's rubber.
Sims, make
But
a
it
squirmy worm
works.
T-shirt.
Yeah. Let's make the worm squirm.
Let's make the worm
Let's
squirm.
make the worm squirm.
Squirm Nation.
If this San Juan worm is
Yeah.
accepted into the lexicon of flies.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Then the squirmy worm must, because
Yeah.
it's the better mousetrap.
It's
It's
Joe.
a better worm.
My uncle Joe calls them battery powered because they're just like in the water, like
Oh man,
like just
they're
giving her.
so deadly. But
Yeah.
like if you look at it now, Spain is, banned them. Czech Republic's banned them.
Oh, really, eh?
We recently
Ban them from competitive.
Competitive.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
competitive.
I was like, whoa, that's badass.
I was
Like,
like,
get your hands
yeah,
off.
yeah.
a bit hardcore.
Get your hands off my worms.
And we actually banned them at the most recent competition we did, because a couple reasons, right? Certainly their effectiveness, because in the lakes the way we fish them was we fish them under a bung, which is the subtle way of saying bobber.
Oh.
Essentially all it is a couple, like the booby fly.
Yep.
So those big foam cylinders,
Yeah.
two of those tied on a hook,
Yeah.
kind of looking like a little tuning fork on the top of the water.
Yeah. Okay.
And then suspended under that, you got two squirmy wormies at like 8 or 12 feet,
Yeah.
depending on where they're suspended at. And
It just sounds like it's gonna work.
oh, dude, it's like going back to your childhood, right? Like it wasn't my childhood, but most childhood was, bobber fishing with a few worms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so it kind of got to the point where it's like, are we fly fishing right now or what? So
What are we doing?
like,
Yeah.
and so we banned the worm for that particular competition. I don't know if it's gonna reciprocate across fly fishing Canada or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a bit of a gray area right now. But God, it's effective.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, they're a shit to tie.
Dude,
I hate
they're
tying
the
those.
easiest fly in the world to tie.
Really?
Easiest.
You wrap it and then you try to tie it and then
Oh, I
it's
thread
just, like,
mine.
everywhere.
What do you do?
I thread them.
So you just go on top and you thread it.
No, like you know how when you're spin fishing, you got like a jig head
Yeah.
and you have your grub.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I do that.
Oh,
You
I
put
see. I
the-
see.
Well, that's greasy, man.
No,
crazy.
no, that's how I get them on, and then I wrap,
Okay.
and then I wrap,
Okay.
and then I wrap.
Right.
But that's how I start the fly.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll use just like some number 8 red glow bright, so the thicker stuff,
Mhm.
which is more like a yarn instead of a thread, because if you use like 8/0 thread, it'll
Oh
just,
yeah, you're cutting it every time.
Yeah, that's kind of what.
yeah, so
that's what I had.
that's your
at the
problem
time,
right there.
so
Yeah.
it
That's your problem right there.
Yeah. Don't use the 8
All right,
yeah.
go white,
Don't
go
use-
big, go big. Yeah.
Go big, man. Yeah, you just tie them in at the butt, wrap your thread up to behind the bead, wrap the worm up, tie it off, shut her down, cast that out, catch a fish.
Bobber down.
Fish.
Bobber down.
Bobber down.
Bob her
Yeah.
down, boy.
Bubber down, yeah.
Put it below. What's the thing you were calling the
It's
bobber
called a
thing?
bung.
A bung. Put it below a bung.
Yeah, let's keep this classy.
Yeah. What a setup. I love it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Trout opener, and you just fish that, and you're gonna just fucking like slay.
I know,
Right?
man.
Amazing.
And it's every like steelhead,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love
browns,
It's
Browns,
definitely a
yeah.
multi-species fly.
rainbows
brookies.
in the lakes. Like,
How, oh
yeah.
yeah.
Brookies and creeks.
Yeah.
I love how flies like spark so much hatred
True.
amongst fishermen.
yeah,
They're
it's
like,
funny, right?
It's true. It's an interesting.
like we're talking about this now, but it was a different fly 5 years ago. It was a different fly 10 years ago, 20, 30. There was
Yeah.
always some flies that were new.
How about
that
the mop?
pissed
the
everybody
mop
off?
fly?
Everybody
Yeah.
hated the mop
Yeah, the
fly.
moth.
Yeah.
God, imagine when the woolly bugger was introduced.
Dude.
God, that must have been some serious fights going on back
Yeah.
then.
Families were destroyed.
Yeah. Some guy was like running into the town center holding this woolly bugger. This fly catches someone, shoots him. Holy shit. It's true though. Like they do flies, really fly patterns really do incite the most conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And like sports people, fly anglers, we a lot of them have strong opinions, so like it stirs a lot of debate. Yeah,
Sure can.
yeah, which
What do
is
you-
a great thing.
What do you think
In a
about,
sense.
like that? The idea of just like are there any patterns you wouldn't use? Like do you have anything that
No, man, going back to the old utilitarian angler, like
Yep.
if it works, I mean, I don't know where you want to draw the line. Like I'm not going to get too out of bounds, but like I'll use whatever catches fish, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Um,
in the fly fishing world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always use barbless hooks and
Yeah.
all the time.
I think it's a preference thing. I feel like it's like some people like want to catch fish on a specific pattern, fished a specific way, and that just makes them happy. Other times it's like,
Yeah, for
today
sure.
I'm gonna just fish.
No, you got your
squirmy.
guys that'll still like
Yeah,
I just fish dry flies
yeah,
Upstream.
exactly. Yeah,
upstream.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
They do it between this time and this time, and they're happy as a clam.
this guy's still
Mhm.
using silk lines,
Hell yeah.
because
Like,
they like it.
they love it. So, do what makes you happy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's fishing. Like it's supposed to make you happy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a pastime.
Yeah.
The way you want to do it is the right way. 'cause
Exactly,
That's what you do.
Through and through, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, so long as you're not like poaching.
Well, yeah.
yeah, but it's fly
That goes
fishing.
to say.
fly
That
fishing.
goes to say.
I think the line with fly fishing is like as long as you're not like tossing a Rapala with like 2 trebles out on your fly line,
No.
or using bait. It's it's fly
yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
It's if
Exactly.
it's a fly and you're using a fly, I don't want to fish. I don't want to fish with.
What about
worms.
putting your nymph in a
Power bait?
fish food container
Power
and
bait.
shake it, leave it for the night. and-
Good old power bait.
Wow, it's certainly
I heard
an advantage.
I
Yeah.
heard people doing that like for like guide like for carp and stuff on Champlain.
Oh, 100%.
They just leave
Yeah.
their carp fly in a container with fish food and for the night.
How are competitions? How like can someone just go do that at a competition? And like, is there any moderation? Like, are people on the?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, how do people
yeah, how are
moderate?
the rules?
Like,
Yeah.
you
Because
self-
maybe the
you
Spanish,
self-
maybe the Spanish are just cheating like crazy.
Ooh. No. No.
Don't say that. We're gonna get a hate mail now.
Yeah, we're gonna get Spanish hate mail that we can't read. None of us can speak Spanish.
Just all caps and exclamation marks.
No, it's
This
all.
guy's mad.
It's all. So, on the lakes, it's self-controlled.
Mhm.
Actually, at the world level, you got a controller in the middle of the boat, watching both of you,
Oh,
measuring your fish,
Wow.
checking your flies. You know, if you put your hook through a piece of wool and one little thread comes off,
Wow. Okay.
your fish are getting DQ'd.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
so it is pretty.
Oh yeah,
strict.
100%.
Okay,
It's
good.
not just a free
oh,
for
that's
all.
great.
Yeah,
And
There's
then,
refs.
and then you have a beat moderator in a river, right?
correct.
Great.
You got somebody on the river who's watching what you're doing, making sure
Yeah.
you're not, on somebody else's water. You're not. They're checking your flies,
Mhm.
Mm.
measuring your fish,
Mm.
making sure that they're the correct size.
So the Spanish are just really fucking kick-ass anglers.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Nice save, man.
I thought I had
Good
them.
recovery there.
We love you. We love you. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Gab,
The whole
Yeah.
world.
do you have a news segment?
Yes.
Did you
But it's
Google
gonna
anything
be-
quick enough there?
If
Gab
you, if
didn't
you
have.
thought I was an awkward podcaster,
Gab didn't
this
have.
is really awkward.
He
'cause
didn't
I-
have a news segment, and then we were like, "You should do the news today."
And then
so
I
he
Googled
he
one.
Started googling, yeah. Okay, well let
So
me.
wait, we gotta cue up the music
Yeah,
here.
let me do the thing.
Yeah. I want my music.
Hold tight.
Okay, ready?
Hold
Gab?
tight. So yeah, Colin, we do a news segment with Gab, and
It's basically making fun of me for 2
it's
minutes.
it's informative. It's informative sometimes.
Yeah.
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 And,
like one time,
Okay. Where's my music?
sort of. Okay, ready?
Yeah. For
Well,
sure.
you can hear it, hopefully.
Yeah. I like that.
Go ahead.
Hello, this is Gabrielle with your SoFly fly fishing news.
I really hope this sound effect's public domain. We've been using it for
Yeah,
so many.
we're gonna get sued our ass off. All right, so here's a headline for you that I did not write. Last Scottish wild salmon facility closes as there are few fish to catch. And then here's why. So I thought this article was about the sport of fly fishing for salmon, but really it's about closing nets.
Like netting on wild salmon.
Yeah,
rivers?
it's like, oh wow, we caught 1,700 wild salmon in a net at the bottom of this river.
Nice.
But we shout stop because sports angler can't catch them anymore.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So
It's
why
not,
don't?
It's not every river though.
It's not every river.
right.
It's the river. Let me find it here. It's the Esk District Salmon Fishery Board. No, that's not the name of a river at all.
I heard it was the Spey.
Yeah,
Hey.
the River Spey, right?
The River Spey.
The river space is still okay, I think. Is that what
Oh.
it says here?
He's
Hey, give me a sec.
he's
give me a sec.
scrolling, folks.
You think I was awkward before? Just wait.
Gab, you should just make this up and see if
I'm-
people
No, he's
I'm
rolling.
totally
see if
making this
people
up.
email us.
Oh, you're killing it, Gab.
I'm gonna get.
This is the
get.
most supportive anybody's
You know what?
been
No, no,
of,
the-
of this news segment.
No,
Usually people are like, "What am I doing here?"
The news
why-
section is the most wonky things, and people just love it. I don't know why. But yeah, so basically, they're out fishing the wild salmon, and a salmon caught on a net is worth what is it? So, a salmon that's caught by a fly angler
Yeah.
on a Scottish river, it's worth 2,000 £2,000.
2,000 pounds.
When when you think about it, you get your license,
Yeah.
you get your hotel room, you're spending,
Right.
you go to the restaurants.
Oh, I
That's
see.
a
Yeah.
$2,000 salmon.
The, f-
Yeah.
The argument
go
made
ahead.
for
the fish is always worth more in the water than
yes,
in the net.
yes.
Mhm.
So
Well, a wild fish.
yeah. So
Yeah. especially in Scotland,
Yeah.
a place people pilgrimage to go fishing for.
Well, dude, I mean, people
Atlantics.
pilgrimage here
Oh, for
Well,
sure.
here in
I'm
Canada.
Yeah,
not
the
sure if
Gasp
it's
and
news with Gab or opinion with
But Scotland.
Gab.
If you're
but
like, let's go fishing in
just stop
Scotland.
netting salmon. Like there's the same problem in Quebec. They're like this year was good, but like 2 years in a row it was bad. In Nova Scotia, it hasn't been really good.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Atlantic salmon.
They shut down the fishery in Newfoundland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Newfoundland fisheries was shut down.
The Miramichi,
I mean,
right?
there's no other way than like just don't like we don't you can't buy Atlantic salmon wild Atlantic salmon here in Canada.
No.
We just don't do it. Like it's all farm, so just stop doing it.
I mean, we obviously need better. I mean,
This
when you
is-
think about Scotland, you're like, I'm gonna go fish in Scotland.
This is unprepared opinion with Gab.
You think Atlantic salmon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
what I'm
go to
saying.
Scotland to fish Atlantic salmon. I mean, apart from all the amazing locks, you can fish insanely incredible brown trout. And they just discovered a new species of brown trout, by the way.
No
Did you
way.
see that?
Oh, there
yeah.
you go.
Did you go to Scotland?
No, but I'm
he's
going.
going.
I'm gonna
Okay,
go.
Yeah.
you're going.
So
Yeah.
Mitch's girlfriend go to school there for the year.
No way.
So I'm gonna go in April, and I'm
Like
gonna
Glasgow area. Where are you going?
Glasgow to
Yeah.
Glasgow,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna try to hit up some locks for browns,
Okay.
which just looks amazing. She was showing me pictures, and I'm like, holy shit!
Oh
this-
man, it's
this-
next. I'll put
Yeah.
you in contact with a few guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you
one
go.
of the
Mitchie.
guys
Yeah,
I know
Mitch.
there who his name's Alistair Mayer, and
Yeah.
he's been kind of a mentor of the Canadian fly fishing team for many years. We've gotten really close with him. He's a stud angler.
Oh, awesome!
He's super knowledgeable,
Yeah.
and I think he lives in the Glasgow area, so
Oh, fuck.
that would be a
fantastic.
sweet.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, man.
Because I don't know, have no idea what I'm doing. Like if I'm gonna fly over there with a fly fishing rod, and then I'm gonna get in a cab, and he's gonna say where to? I'm gonna say brown trout, and he's just gonna
I've got my bung.
He's just gonna point. He's just gonna point somewhere.
he's gonna
like
turn
there.
around and give me the weirdest look. So
I've
that'd be
got my
amazing.
bung fly. I've got my bung.
And my
I got my
worm.
squirmies.
My bung and my squirmy. Where do you want to
and my
go?
spay rod.
That doesn't end well. No.
Just bring beads.
Just swinging bung. Just swinging a bung.
Gab, is that the end of your new segment?
Hey, yes.
Okay, well, let me
stop
play
killing
that.
wall salmon.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat about it.
I'd love
Let's
to.
have a chat.
I'd love to.
Let's
I
chat.
don't know if we
I
have
think
to chat.
Aldo has. The
I was
thing.
gonna like wrap. No, it's like it's an interesting. It's
Say
interesting,
something.
right? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, netting salmon when you see decreasing returns every year is absurd to me.
Yeah.
I think because eventually they're just gonna go away.
No, it's a fragile resource.
It's a fragile resource.
very
It's
fragile.
a multifaceted problem. There's boats out in the middle of the ocean, catching them out there. There's the inshore fishery. There's the river fishery.
The river nets. I've
but
never
you know
even
what?
known that
But you
existed.
know what? Looking at ourselves internally, I saw. I think it was a post by Fish Pond or whatever, and they were on the Skeena or something. I think it was the Skeena, and it was like, well, swinging up for one of the last times, before this river goes to shit. And somebody commented on, and I don't usually read comments, but I thought this was poignant. And he's like, well, what are you doing fishing?
Right.
We're also responsible.
Big time.
If if we really actually care, maybe just don't go. Like, I don't know. There has to be some sort of onus on us as well.
If anybody,
If you're
You're in charge, man.
You're in
Yeah.
charge.
Mhm.
You're at the driver's seat, right?
nobody
know,
else.
like-
Do you think people at your work care when you're like, hey, do you know about the brown trout and the timber? And they're gonna be like, what's a river?
What's a brown?
There's brown. There's brown trout.
There's brown trout in Toronto.
No, but my point is,
Yeah.
if you're gonna hate on netting and if you're gonna hate on trawlers and blah 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 blah, but then go fish the river and for the same salmon,
Yeah.
what's the point? What's the point of catching even one? I don't know. It's an ethical dilemma that I've been
think it's like-
debating in my own mind.
I think it's
As a non-Atlantic salmon fisher,
I know.
but you know what I mean. So that's the other problem is I've never actually been. So I'm full of
You have
you
to,
know,
man.
I know. So like my opinion, like
Have you
it's
gone?
literally just an
While
opinion.
they last.
You did Atlantics,
Yeah, man.
and
So yeah, I've
sounds
been
amazing.
Oh man, it's if you haven't caught an Atlantic salmon on a dry fly,
Yeah. Oh man.
like there is something about that which is so magical. I just can't even explain it. Like I'm a trout guy through and through, but catching an Atlantic salmon in like Quebec on a dry fly, I think is the pinnacle for me in Canada. I think that's just like, it's the king of the river.
Yeah.
catching a fish which isn't supposed to eat when it enters a river on a dry fly.
It's probably our most iconic fish, like sport fish.
It's pretty crazy, man, when you start to think about it. And these fish aren't small either. They get anywhere from, they come in as a grill, so anywhere from 5-6 pounds. They can get up, like on the Grand Cascapedia, for example, those things get up to 30, 35, 40 pounds.
Oh my God. Can you imagine catching a 40-pound
salmon?
That's insane.
Yeah, no, that's something I definitely. It's a part of our culture that I need to experience.
Yeah.
And soon.
Yeah, man. And it's the setting. The rivers are so gorgeous.
Yeah.
The Bonaventure.
Dude, there's so many great rivers up there on the south and north shore of Gaspé that you throw a quarter into the middle of the river, you can see if it's heads or tails.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just gin clear water. Like it's amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is precious resources.
No, you're right.
Like to bring it back home. What if one day it becomes dangerous to fish for the brown trout on the Credit River, and then we go and fish for them?
One day it will be, man.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, we're just full of shit then.
Well,
right?
we're just gonna ride it out. We're just gonna accept and ride it out. Okay.
That's not what I meant. I mean, I don't know.
It's like
I guess what I'm saying is, like,
they're in danger. Better go fish one before they're gone. But then you fish.
It's
one.
better to leave them. Like my point is, like, I think it might be better to leave it alone for the health of the fishery over the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's better to do something when we can, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that means
and the
not
regs have
fishing
to
them.
adapt.
Exactly.
Catch limits have to adapt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that need to go on here.
Yeah.
And fast.
It's better to plan than to react.
That sense of urgency is happening, I think. You see it with the netting practices, with even like we talk about when when it's hot out, like just leave them alone, even though you technically can fish them.
Yeah.
But, that's the type of stuff that needs to happen.
Has to.
And as fast as possible, because you're 100% right.
Like voluntary restrictions.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you're allowed to. Should you?
And maybe
not.
And maybe those regulations should change.
Yeah.
And they probably will, or else, you're right. We're not fishing brown trout anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think you're right, Theo. I mean, like, I brought that example up before, but when the frying pan the anglers did a voluntary closure of the river.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the anglers coming together. Be like, no, we're just not going to fish here.
It's an awesome culture.
Oh, it's exemplary, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Because it's not safe for these fish to do so, and we can see it's big picture thinking.
Yeah.
And it's hard, like, not everybody gets big picture thinking, but it's like, and I just mean in everything, in business and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, if I fish for them now, I'm not going to be able to fish for them in 10 years, and I kind of want to be able to fish for them in 10 years.
Yeah.
Just going to put that out there.
Like, look at this past summer. Look how hot it was.
Oh,
the
my
rivers
God.
got low. Like, it's happening, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we're talking about it in 5-10 years.
It's not in the future.
It's right now, right?
Yeah.
That's a wild thing.
But at the same time, I mentioned a thing in passing really quickly that people are probably like, what the hell are they talking about? A new brown trout species was discovered. And I put species in quotation marks. Yeah. And I know I just kind of glazed over that whole thing. Very strange thing. BBC News article put out December 1st this year, new, in quotation marks again, type of brown trout found in species-rich loch. And it goes on to talk about, Gab, I'm kind of doing the news right
That's
now.
okay.
No, it's fine. This is good. This is good.
It's a chronicle in the news.
It says a distinct species of brown trout that has never been reported before has been discovered in Perthshire Loch. The specimen was one of 4 species of the fish found in Loch Leyden, suggesting biodiversity in freshwater habitats and greater than first thought, which is really interesting. There's fish thriving in certain places, I mean, the loch. Have you ever fished in Scotland? In the lochs?
I haven't.
The lochs, like, I feel like, because I know Ian was talking about the lochs and Ray Blades too, and they're both like, yeah. It just like sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, it's certainly on the hit list. Like I did some of the lochs in England, and it's amazing, man. It's a different thing. The old school wooden boats,
Oh yeah.
like just the whole vibe to it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's very rugged too. Like,
it's rugged, man.
Yeah.
It's rugged
In the classiest way, though.
The
like in the fly
classiest
fishing
way.
Yeah. You're wearing tweed,
which is so
And
great,
you're
man.
cold.
I'm down to wear tweed and be cold,
I know.
I'm
I
down
know
to
you
rock
are.
the tweed.
I know, like your little stockings pulled up to your knees.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it.
So what this brown trout? What's it got going on? Like, is it a?
Yeah, why is it? What makes it different?
Well, it says it's a new species in quotes.
Okay.
which is weird. But it's just basically
The hybrid, or is it a?
well, it says the new species from the common form and having lighter skin and a larger mouth and eyes. It also says that it's if you actually look at its tail, it's sort of got a salmon type tail going on, like it's straight
Okay.
down instead of got like a little bit of a V,
Yeah.
which is weird. And then they sort of go into this article here. We'll post it in the show notes. It's a BBC article, so it's legit. But it talks about basically how it's different water column type of fish. So this fish is like sort of feeding in like a wider range of water columns, whereas you'll have browns that feed sort of like open surface shorelines or just deep water, like different sort of places that they're hanging out. And apparently this one was kind of in a whole other.
So this
whole
fish
other
is
range.
Who discovered it?
It's a good question,
Is that
Gab.
an angler? Is that a scientist?
It says the research on the what they're calling Leiden trout was by Professor Vorspor and Dr. Mark Colson,
Cool.
if you'd believe that.
I do.
Check out this article. I kind of read it in passing in today, but check it out. We'll post it in the show notes, and yeah, kind of interesting. I don't know, new type of
a
brown
new
trout found.
brown trout.
Yeah,
Brown trout.
crazy.
New brown trout.
How about it?
How about name?
And then there is that.
And I guess that's the news.
Gab,
That was the news by Gab and Mitch.
that was great.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. For having
I've
me,
been a little bit lousy about the news. I haven't really.
This is the first news of 2019, though.
I know.
Gab. Oh my God, you're right.
That's true.
Oh yeah,
Heavens.
Colin's our first guest of 2019.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers.
Yay.
Cheers.
Happy New Year's, people.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's.
Right on.
Yes,
Gab, I'm
sir.
going to outro you for the news. Ready?
Okay,
That
okay,
was
okay.
Fly Fishing News with Gab. Here we go, baby.
Hello, and thank you very much for listening. This was Fly Fishing News with Gab.
Nice. So
Out of the park.
Out of the park.
Hello,
Smoked it.
hello, and thanks for
Hello
listening.
and
The introductions and the outro is the only reason why I wanted to do that. Because I am a news whore, and all I want to hear is like the intro.
Yeah.
I love
After
it.
that,
It's
I'm
great.
like, not interesting.
It's great.
Tell me how you introduce yourself. That's all I wanted. So the news sucks, but the intro is good.
Oh man, the news was great.
so you see yourself like, I mean, you're already a mentor. Is that something that I'd say drives your passion for the sport?
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Um,
You enjoy teaching and
yeah.
yeah.
Love teaching, love getting new people into the sport. Especially because I was so fortunate to have such great mentors, like the best in Canada.
Yes, seriously.
So
Your uncle is Donald Tom.
yeah, so I feel like there's something there that I need to give back, right? And really transcend everything I've taken away from it.
Right.
So the more I can do and give back to the youth team, getting younger people into the sport, introducing as many people as I can, that's really, that's kind of like the goal here, right?
What do you think as a community in that regard we
Right.
could be doing or doing better? Or what do you think is working and should be like what are you like, oh, I need to get new people into the sport, or I want to make people as excited as I am about the sport? Like, what do you find that you're like you I mean, you're traveling the country constantly talking
Right.
to different anglers in different fishing communities, and so what do you think aside from just
Like what's the pull to get them out? Or
I mean, like, obviously the pull is easy. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like,
It is.
you're outside. You're it's great.
but we live in a world where it's like, it's different, right?
Yeah.
In a way, it's not the way it was 50 years ago, where you didn't have all the technology, you didn't have all these different things that are so distracting, and people. I don't want to say they don't value the resources much, but it's like they don't realize it. They don't realize what's
It's
there.
right.
And once you realize like what's like the full potential of all that, and the joy that fly fishing brings, and the joy of being on the river with friends, it's just you kind of you can introduce it to them,
Yeah.
but they kind of got to take it on themselves in a way.
You have to
Right.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to find it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's true. It's a tricky one.
It is a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah.
You can't force people into it,
No.
No.
because the video gamer is going to be a video gamer. The guy who wants to play soccer is going to play soccer. Like it's just.
I play video games and soccer and fly
But
fish.
you're a fucking stud.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
whoa.
I'm just saying you
10 out of 10 over here.
you can be both.
I
too.
get yeah.
You can be both. But I know what you mean, because
I
a
know
lot
what
of
you
the
mean,
time
yeah,
people are like, rivers. Wow, that's in Toronto. Okay, and then they just forget about it instantly.
Ew, fish.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Those
what are you
are
doing this
slimy.
weekend? I'm going fishing. Dude, it's November. I'm like, yeah, right?
There's
But,
just
but you know what?
no.
Though, an increasingly number of people are like, they're like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, like,
So, totally, you're onto something.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm finding that a lot of my peers from my former career
Fuck
in
yeah, dude.
restaurants,
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'll be out in a bar and I'll meet. You know, I'm extraordinarily popular, and I
I
know
know you are.
I know a lot of people.
I know.
Yeah.
And
Like
when I'm out in the
stud
bar
nigger.
and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Aldo's here,"
Yeah.
they run up to me.
And then they go,
Yeah.
hey, Aldo, where's Gab?
We need to ask him about Mitch.
But they run up to me, you know, they form a line,
Yeah.
and they're all asking me about. Okay, but you know, obviously being facetious, but people when I do run into like
Yeah,
my
people,
old co-workers and peers or whatever, they're like, you know, I used to, and it's always kind of the same narrative. Oh, I used to go camping. Oh, my dad, my mom used to take me
It's true,
canoeing.
yeah.
Right.
But and like I keep
They
seeing
have a connection.
I keep seeing what you're doing, and it makes me think that maybe I should do it again,
Yeah.
Totally.
or maybe I should do it more, or that's I keep hearing that narrative over and over again.
Man, fly fishing kind of got cool in a way, in a weird way, right?
Yeah,
That's what I've seen. Like,
Yep.
you know, back when I was in high school, cool kids would skate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I almost want to make the comparison. Like,
Mm-hmm.
some of the cool kids are fly fishing now. Honest to God.
They are for sure.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, look at me.
I know.
Cool as fuck.
Cool as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But it's true. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
April Vokey, actually, on an old podcast I used to listen to called Fly Fishing on the Web.
Okay.
It was a podcast like
great name by the way.
I know, like 15, 10
The
years
web.
ago. It was great. And those guys had April on, and she said, like, yeah, like, if you think about, like, spin fishing, it's kind of like skiing, whereas fly fishing is sort of more like snowboarding. And it has evolved that way. Fly fishing totally has become more like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it makes a lot of sense when you talk about people being like, oh, I should go appreciate the outdoors more.
Mm-hmm.
And you must see it, too,
Or it's
right?
like I already appreciate the outdoors. It's like I forgot about the outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nobody that's going to be like, I hate forest.
Mhm.
Like, going for hiking sucks. Everyone kind of loves it. It's just like, it's the level of commitment. I think that people are realizing that they should commit just maybe a tiny bit more.
Yeah. You must see it, though, working in the industry, right? And going to fly
Man.
shops. And
Yeah, fly fishing's getting big, man. It's really on the uptrend. I find like people are getting into it a lot more. You see a lot more women
Mhm.
getting into fly fishing. A lot more of the youth getting into fly fishing,
Which is a great sign.
which is it's great, man.
yeah, of course,
It's great to see, especially the women, man. Like it's so great to see, like, you know, Oris, for example, 50-50 on the water. The whole kind of upwards trend of
Yeah.
because it's great to see, right?
Yeah, totally.
And,
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
We just spent a week with Chloe in Montana, and you know what an advocate she is for the outdoors.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, man.
And when
What-
she's 22.
It's awesome. Like what otherwise is like traditionally seen as like, you know, this old white dude sport. It's like great to not have that.
Yeah.
As
And
much as we can.
Yeah.
And it's
As
like
much as we're gonna be old white dudes one day.
I know.
Like,
it's
not,
true.
not everyone, but like a lot of old white dude ideas like, oh, I'm going fishing with my buddies. Well, you know, oh, I'm getting away from my wife, but now it's like, and I'm like, no, man, just bring her with you. It's pretty awesome.
It's the diversity that makes it
yeah,
exciting,
like
right?
just it's something that you can all do together. You know, you don't have to be with just your dude's friend at a cottage.
And it's full circle a
can-
little bit because it's when you get more people into it is when more people care about those resources. So it's nice to see it growing.
Yeah.
So you think fly fishing is cool, eh? I mean, we all thought that.
I mean, back in high school, I was not the cool guy fly fishing.
No, same.
Tell you that
But
for,
now,
tell you that for free.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But now all my friends, like increasingly as I get older, every year, there's more people like, "Can I
Yep.
come with you?"
Mhm.
Every day, man.
Yeah.
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 For sure. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
man, I'd love to join you on the river. I'd love to learn how to fly
It's
fish.
actually so crazy you say that because it's so fucking true.
Yeah.
People do, like, you'll meet someone and they'll be like, oh, you fly fish? Oh my God. Like, oh, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's crazy. How do you even know that's a thing?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, for $400, I'll take you on the river for the day.
Yeah, like $700. We'll go out for the afternoon. Like,
Cook your little shoreline.
yeah, okay, $1,000. We'll go out for a couple hours.
and then we'll make you some chili.
All right, $2,000, and I'll drive you to the river.
And you can Uber Eats your own chili.
No, it's crazy.
Boom.
I'd do that. Imagine that you fish the whole morning at like Arundel Park, and then you call an Uber Eats.
I would totally
I
order
would
a
totally
pizza
do that. Actually,
to Arundel Park.
I might have to do that actually the next time I fish
we
here.
should order a
That's a
pizza.
great idea,
We
guys.
used to do that
That's a
when
great idea.
when I grew up. Like we used to party on the Jacques-Cartier River. There's a bunch of islands, and we used to just get shit faced. And then I would call Patate Plus, which is a poutine place. And it'd be like, what's the address? I'm like,
Patate Plus.
well, on the Dublin Street, the next turn, there's a hill. I'll be at the bottom.
He's like, yeah, I know.
And then he's like, yeah, I know that place. Yeah,
I
exactly.
was there last night.
Do you want me to bring my
He
waiters?
shows up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, thanks. And then I go back to the bonfire and eat a fucking
Poutine.
5-pound poutine for myself.
What a
From-
lovely
what was
world.
it called? Patat.
Patate Plus.
Patate Plus.
Potato Plus in
Eh.
English for people.
Patat plus.
Patate Plus. The restaurant is so cheesy, man. It's
I
like
love it.
there's a giant portrait, like a painted portraits of like the owner.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh my
potatoes.
goodness.
Yeah.
No. The guy has his portrait made
He
like,
doesn't
with,
love
like in a
himself at all.
suit and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
yeah.
my
in a
God.
leather chair, and
Oh
you're
my
like, dude,
God.
like
Come
you
on.
sell poutine.
You sell poutine, buddy.
Get over
Sit
yourself.
down.
Fries with cheese on it.
Yeah.
Don't forget the gravy.
But then you can.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You can
Jesus.
do
Jesus, bitch. Oh my God.
one that's like about a foot long, and then you ask for extra cheese under it. So then you eat your poutine. There's like cheese,
Gab, if
potato
you-
gravy. Then at the bottom.
So if
there's
you haven't had a
layer
heart
of
attack
melted
yet,
cheese.
Yeah,
You're about to
I
exactly.
have not. I have not.
Yeah,
And
if you had a
I'm kind of
if
overweight.
you were to make your own poutine, what would be on it?
It would be.
This is poutine with Gab.
All right, poutine with Gab.
hit it.
I don't have a song. I need a song. Yeah.
Salty, not spicy
Yeah.
at all. No spicy gravy.
'Kay.
Fuck that shit. Okay.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. No.
Spicy
some
gravy.
gravy are a little bit spicier than others.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No.
It has to taste
Get that
nothing
spicy
but
shit out
salt.
of here.
Okay.
Spicy gravy.
Yes. It's gotta be salty.
Okay.
With no other kind of taste.
All right, salty gravy established.
Okay.
What else?
But
we got?
let's say
That's
This is the
Frat.
Gab special.
it's a
by the
layered.
way.
It's a layered
Okay.
poutine. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Cheese curds at the bottom.
Yep.
Right on the cardboard.
Yes. On the cardboard.
What the fuck? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I know it. Poutine on the bottom. Poutine gravy. Fuck my goodness. Cheese curds on the bottom. Don't give me that stupid like grated cheese. I had that before. I'm like, what is this? Like,
Fromage gratiné.
don't offer it. Don't offer it if it's grated. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheese curds at the bottom.
Okay.
Fries. Another layer of cheese curds.
What?
Gravy.
Jesus.
Oh, gravy
That's it.
last? Gravy last?
No
Gravy
bacon.
last,
Where's your
always.
bacon? Where's your?
Yeah, you
No,
don't have any
no.
other
Come
on.
toppings?
No,
Yeah,
no, we're
bacon.
keeping it real.
No.
You know you can put anything.
Fuck that shit.
anything
Fuck
on
that
this.
shit.
We're keeping it simple.
Red peppers, plantains,
What is
A
that?
little duck. A little
zucchini.
duck confit.
No.
come on,
You
duck
guys,
confit, you
you
don't
guys want to
Philly
add?
cheesesteak.
You don't want duck confit on your poutine?
You could put
Sure,
a slice of
sure,
pizza.
sure, sure.
Okay, wait.
But,
You
hey,
can't just change your
Is
mind.
that a
Gab.
vegetable?
What?
No, you were talking peppers.
Hold
and
on a
stuff?
second. Hold on a second.
No,
this
no
is the
vegetable.
Gab. This is the Gab special.
Yes.
The Gab poutine. People will order this for the rest
Okay.
of humanity. What is on it other than fries, cheese curds, and gravy?
Nothing. Because that's all you need. No,
There's no duck confit.
No duck confit. No. Okay, a plain, untasteful gravy. That's salty.
Tasteful.
Fries and cheese curds. That's
And
it.
that is the Gab.
That's it.
If I ate a
the Gab.
poutine,
Yes.
that was called the Gab. That's
If it's
what it means.
untasteful and salty as fuck.
No, I say untasteful.
a
is
lot
that
of cheese curds.
a brown gravy is not supposed to taste that.
All right, I
much,
dig it.
You know,
Okay.
You know.
Well, anyway,
That's it.
that's what poutine with Gab.
I can get into
Colin,
bacon on.
Wrap it up, folks.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, Colin, thanks for coming on the show.
Have a good time. Peace. See you later.
Man.
Colin knows. He lives in Quebec.
Yeah.
True.
I'd switch up that poutine though, real quick.
Yeah.
Oh man,
What are you getting into?
Oh dude,
Yeah. Tell us your poutine.
I'd go.
Are you going to a pancake house?
No. No, you gotta keep it OG with the fries on the bottom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Slammed.
You're missing out.
You
Fries on the bottom.
you want that little surprise on
I
the
want-
bottom.
Love the
I want
surprise.
the-
I love surprise.
Yeah.
I want the Colin poutine right
Yeah,
now.
what's going
Yeah.
on?
So and then you're gonna put you gotta get like extra on the cheese curds.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna put the bacon bits under the cheese curds just for that surprise for
Okay,
Gab.
okay.
Ooh.
And
I
then
like that.
duck confit,
Oh man. See,
a
this
little smoked sausage.
That's getting fancy.
This is
No,
good.
no,
this is
no,
getting
no.
good.
It's getting good.
I'm getting hungry.
And then,
Getting turned on.
jeez, I think you just wrap it up there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. No white sauce. No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No white sauce.
You know what I mean
Now,
about the gravy.
spicy
Yeah.
gravy or regular salty
No,
gravy?
no, you got to keep it
Regular salty.
untasteful, salty,
Oh,
like
taste,
Gab, you know?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
The lightest you can go is beige.
Yeah.
The beige, eh?
Beige.
Here's my poutine: a cheese curd, one big cheese curd.
No gravy.
No fries.
I
No
have
fries.
that before. So there's a poutine place
Oh
in
my
Quebec
God.
City
Yeah.
that you can ask for cheese curds with gravy.
Jesus.
Literally, it's just a
Okay,
cup
well, that's like, how do you
It's
take
just
a
a
heart
cup.
attack to...
with cheese curds in it, and they pour gravy in it.
That'd be good, actually.
I had it.
You know that would be good.
I love that it's in a cup.
Yeah.
So you just drink it.
That's good. That's good fish. That's good fish fuel. Fishing fuel.
That is good.
You know why it came out? Because people would say, "Oh, I'll have a poutine extra cheese, but no fries."
Oh,
And
man.
people are like, "Well, fuck fries.
That's the.
Let's just offer it to people."
Amazing.
Vive le Quebec!
Ashton, next time you go to Quebec City, do that.
Okay.
Is it time? Is it a Mishy Fishy time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One quick thing though.
Mm.
Living in Chelsea, do you fish Gatineau Park at all? Or you're like, fuck that, I'm just going to Canuck.
No, I fish the Gatineau River all the time, man.
Oh yeah.
Fish the Gatineau River all the time.
I used to too.
it's
I
a
really
sweet
liked it.
fishery,
It's
man.
it
For
is a
smallmouth,
sweet-
or-
it is
It's
a
got
sweet
it's
fishery.
got everything.
It's got everything. It's got
And
everything.
You name it, Gab name it.
Brook trout, walleye,
Yeah.
pike,
Yeah.
smallmouth
Yeah.
bass.
Yeah.
Rainbows.
Gar.
No gar.
No, I don't think so.
I don't-
No, I don't think the rainbow unless they're
Muskie,
unless
carp,
they're-
muskie?
whitefish. Oh, dude.
Whitefish?
It's a
No, Gab, I caught a
Very
rainbow
cool.
Gatineau once.
really, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow, cool.
I have never fished Gatineau, the Gatineau River.
Yeah.
You never
I've-
fished the Gatineau River?
I
with
did, but the lower part. So I never really went
do you,
really far north.
I mean-
so I've only caught smallmouth.
Not asking for spots here.
No, man.
But where ish.
Anywhere between Chelsea and all the way up the line to like Low.
See, I fished below that,
Yeah.
so I
So-
caught only smallmouth.
All the way up to low.
All the way up to low.
Low Quebec.
Wow.
You want to talk about good bacon? Actually,
Oh, drop some knowledge.
Gracefield.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
butchers
yeah.
in Gracefield, they have the jowl bacon.
Yeah.
You put the jowl bacon on your poutine. But anyway,
You want to talk good beans? Low Quebec.
Yes.
My
Right?
beans.
That-
There's a woman there that makes
Mitch
beans
knows.
in the clay pots.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
change your life.
God.
Yeah, change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my, I'm so nostalgic for that region.
I love
of
that
We used to go as kids. We would drive up there,
Right.
and I was like, that's where I learned how to fish.
Yeah.
I learned how to fish. Like we would go to cottages up there and like in around Blue Sea Lake, and
Oh man,
you know,
it's beautiful.
stop off.
Amazing area.
Stop off on all those places. The biggest trout I've ever caught in my life was 17 pounds. It was a lake trout, and I caught it at Lac St. Charles.
17 pounds?
17 pounds.
That's a big laker, man.
Jesus.
Ice out right
It's
off
probably
the dock.
like
In Quebec.
100 Lac Saint Charles in Quebec.
You must have been shitting yourself.
Dude, right at ice out.
Yeah. Like soaking, basically, for Lakers.
Yeah,
That's insane.
it was insane.
That's insane.
Cool.
It was insane. What am I saying?
It's just an amazing region. Chelsea, Low, Wakefield.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I actually won.
It's crazy.
Oh.
The
Here we go.
yeah. Talk about competitions. We're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about competitions
You
over
wanna
here.
find out?
So I was like, I was 13. My dad's weird eccentric friend Terry Samitz, who is an amazing dude. He took me fishing all the time. He was a painter. Like he painted people's houses and cottages or whatever. And he'd like ask the cottage owners if he could bring like his. Well, he asked if he could bring me so I could go fishing.
Yeah.
And this one time that we went to this cottage he was painting on Lac St. Charles, which was like it was a, it was I'm not I don't I, it was the, I don't know if it was owned by the fishing club on the lake, but it was managed. So they stocked every type of trout in.
Oh, man.
It was like big Lakers eating like it was a deep lake. It looked like it was a perfect rectangle almost, and it
Yeah.
was like aquamarine. I'd never seen water like
Aquamarine. That region, yeah.
I'd never seen water like
Yeah.
this. I'd only seen water like this in pictures of like the West in
Yeah.
BC. You know, it was like something like in Banff.
That's a really good way to put water in that part of Quebec.
So
It's like turquoise.
yeah,
It's fucking
exactly. And I was like,
crazy, yeah.
what? Obviously, some sort of limestone has to be involved
Spring
here.
fed and stuff
And
like that.
And you see it in Gatineau Park.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
and Sorry, I'm just nostalgic for that region. Anyway, so I ended up catching this lake trout, total fluke, and it ended up being. That I got this weird message. Remember having a message machine, voicemails.
Yeah.
Remember when you had a home phone?
Yeah.
No.
Headline.
Home phone? What the fuck?
Yeah.
There was a message from the fishing club being like, "Hey, you caught the biggest lake trout this year.
No way.
We have a
That's
little
cool.
trophy for you."
Oh, that's awesome.
What was the trophy like? What did it look like?
It was just like a little guy with a fish.
Oh, nice. Nice. Do you still have it?
Anyway, back to your point. The Gatineau River is amazing.
Yeah,
and
man.
you still fish it?
Of course.
The Gatineau River is amazing. I'm so nostalgic for that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I love that
It's
area.
a big open river. And then kind of in Chelsea, there's a dam, and then it kind of gets into some fast rapids, and you could swing there. You could, fish down and across for bass, carp, whitefish, whatever you want. There's muskie there.
Mm-hmm.
Up above, it's kind of your more like classic bass fishing or jigging, casting the lily pads, poppers, whatever you want. Like it's the kind of river that there's something for everybody, right?
Yeah.
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 That's what's really cool about it.
That's very, very, very cool. Ottawa's a weird place like that because I feel like even
Ottawa River's the same thing,
the
right?
Ottawa River's the same thing. Gar, muskie, pike,
Everything.
walleye, sauger.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Those gar are a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I kind of I didn't discover them, but I really got into them about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Just fishing, because it's sight fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're walking in you're only not even up past your knees. You see them, you get a good shot at them, and they're gonna destroy it. And they're 40 to 50 inches, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just like the coolest prehistoric creature.
Big
Yeah,
bill
yeah.
of teeth.
What kind of fly do you use? Like, do you use like those like woolly fly that basically get tangled in their teeth, or
No.
you really hook them? Like,
No,
Treble
so
or-
usually what I'll do is I'll run any kind of popper you got, like a frog or
okay.
just a regular popper, and then off the end I'll usually run 6 inches of 30-pound mono
Okay.
with a little trailer treble behind it.
Oh,
So what
okay,
they'll do is
okay.
they'll take the popper,
Yeah.
but they'll miss it, and you'll just get them on the outside, the soft spot, because if you try and get them in the teeth,
It's impossible.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
and then
right?
you can use those, they call them rope flies, but then you
Yeah.
just got the biggest mess of your
Can you
life.
talk about
Yeah.
about catch and release?
Yeah, you gotta unhook that. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
probably
a-
messy and
It's a pain.
All about untangling.
Exactly. So yeah, no, they're a fun fish. They're kind of
they're very cool looking.
low key, right? They just
They're wacky.
and
The prehistoric.
where they're located, right? It's just these warm, shallow bays where people bring their dogs to run.
Yeah.
And there I am fishing, and,
Yeah.
and then land a 46-inch
Yeah.
gar and hold it up and just show it to them.
Yeah.
My dog almost died.
People are like, holy crap,
Pomeranians
that's
are
in the
being
river.
Oh yeah, calling their dog back,
Yeah.
get out of the river, get out of
Yeah.
the river.
Yeah, like at Shirley's Bay or something,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
are
yeah,
like, holy-
Yeah, I caught one gar in my life, and it was in Jacques Cartier Park, right in front of the Ottawa River in Gatineau.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sweet fish.
Probably about that time for
Yes.
Mitchie's Fishies 5.
Yes, it is. It's time.
It's
She's 5.
The grand finale.
It's the grand finale.
Okay.
Yeah.
The GF.
It's like it's a little segment we do at the end of every show. It's how do you put it, Mitch? It's just the show. It's more questions.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
5 more of them.
5 more
Killer.
of them. But it's the same 5 that we ask
Everybody.
everybody.
Oh
Or
shit.
try to, yeah.
Yeah, or
You
try
guys
to.
never
Okay.
asked me.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I'm
did.
part of the show. Sorry.
Yeah, we did it, Elk Lake.
Elk Lake.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Nothing to them, and you don't have to answer them
I
in
was
any
drunk.
specific time frame or anything like that. But we just want to pick your brain a bit.
Killer.
Really wraps up the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this first question, Mitch's Fishies 5. What is your favorite fish and why?
Oh. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I probably have to say, I think Troop said the same one. I think he said the brown trout.
Hmm.
Did he say the brown?
It's a common answer.
It's a
Yeah.
common
But
answer, right?
that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
It's
It's
just
a common answer. Yeah. It's not a bad thing at all.
It's just the most interesting trout I find from a lot of different perspectives. They're just kind of the unknown, the all around, they're just they can be really tricky. They can be very forgiving at times.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the more beautiful trout in terms of colors. One of the more intelligent, aggressive, all around. I think the brown trout is just kind of in the trout world the real prize.
It is cool how they can be so tricky yet forgiving, like you said.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. No,
It's
they're.
And now there's a new one to go catch.
Yeah, that's right. In Scotland.
Oh, I guess we got to go to Scotland.
If you happen to. No, that's great. it's a great answer. We got a second one coming your way, baby. You ready?
All right. Pitter patter.
If you could fish anywhere. Number 2. Getting at her. If you could fish anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
Oh my God.
Anywhere on the planet
Earth.
Any place.
Or another planet.
You know what
Ocean,
I've really
Lake,
been
creek.
feeling lately?
Ooh.
You know what I've really been feeling?
Yeah.
Ooh, what you been feeling?
Some salt water.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Some-
Salt.
I don't
yeah.
I haven't done any of it.
Yeah.
You've never been?
I've never
neither.
been.
Oh.
So like I did a bit of Florida stuff,
Yeah.
like some pier fishing,
Mm.
which doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like
I thought you.
I think
I just thought.
I know, right?
I think I look at you. I'm like, this guy's fished everywhere.
Yeah, I just assume
I
you
know.
had.
Right? I haven't,
Yeah.
and I think it would ruin my ass. I think I would throw my trout rods away.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly like, and I've been once basically. I've been twice,
I haven't
but
been,
basically
dude.
once.
Yeah.
And like, and I came back and I was like,
What just happened?
yeah, what just happened?
Yeah. And like bonefish,
Yep.
permit,
Yep.
just like this whole the buzz around it. Everybody gets like the praise towards these fish.
Yeah.
How like playing these fish, like they just go nuts.
Yeah.
Tarpon.
The baby tarpon are 40 pounds.
I know, dude.
Can you imagine?
What?
Can you imagine 100 pounds?
Could you imagine a 40-pound, 100
No.
pound?
Like,
You can't. You cannot.
I don't even
imagine.
know. Yeah.
Like the day before I got to Florida. Speaking of which, I'm going back to Florida. I guess in the timeline of this, I would have
already
already
gone.
gone and come back. Whoa! I'm talking to future.
I'm so
Aldo
jealous.
Right now.
That's
I'm so jealous.
crazy.
You're just back from Florida right now, but you haven't gone yet.
Future Aldo.
Yeah, I'm back, but I haven't gone yet.
Oh my goodness.
Damn. But the first time I went to Florida,
Yeah.
got some buddies that have their parents live down there. Awesome. My buddy Quinn, his dad has a boat, a place.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically right on a flat. Like that's where their house is.
That
like
sucks.
pretty, yeah, right. That sucks.
Yeah.
And he fly fishes, and it's great because he apparently none of his buddies do. So when I go down, he's like, "Yeah, we'll go fly fishing. It's great." And I wasn't like catching the storied species, like at least the first couple days. Like we went up to Isla Morada to do bonefish properly, and then we did snook in the mangrove. You know,
Yeah.
we got there, but the first
Nice.
couple days we were just hanging around home catching snapper.
Cool.
And then for whoever knows, whatever reason, I hooked into a false albacore. Not a big one.
Holy.
Not a big one. It ended up being 7-8 pounds.
Yeah.
It was like, you're so outgunned because I just had my little 8-weight, my little mid-arbor reel,
Yes.
because that was the only thing that I had at the time that was fully sealed.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was just staring at the reel, and I was just like, and his buddy's like, if you don't reel that in, shark's gonna eat it. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, shark's gonna eat it. There's a lot of sharks around here, boy. Got it in eventually. The rod exploded.
Oh yeah. Just.
The
Busted.
fish saw the boat and just went straight down.
Yeah.
And the rod just like
literally exploded.
evaporated.
Yeah.
And it was his rod. It wasn't even mine.
So you had to. Yeah.
And I was like, oh. We hand lined it in, and we ate it, obviously.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Point being, I didn't know what I could. You can't. You just don't.
Yeah. Salt water.
We don't
is
get
another
taken to the
beast, right?
backing. We
Yeah.
don't
We-
get like unless you go to
yeah.
Atlantic salmon. We just don't get taken to the back. Even
We
the
we
steelhead.
see it online, but to experience it is way
Yeah.
way better, like way different game.
Getting properly like taken into the backing, like where it just doesn't look like it's gonna stop, is crazy. It was a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the salt.
Yeah. So
specifically?
yeah, to answer your question, I'd say like anywhere, kind of Cuba, Mexico, southern tip of the United States,
And Billy's.
Belize.
Yeah.
I can't even put a number on a place, but
Belize, man. Belize would be
Belize
sick.
is off the charts.
There's so many little islands. There's a lot of like offshore
Yeah.
little communities and stuff.
Yeah, I just got to get more of that into me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
We're
Never
all
been.
with you there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
We should just
That'd be
That would be a
Can you imagine
good
how
time.
much fun that would be?
Yeah, I know,
It'd be
right?
so much fun. It would just be
Especially
fun.
because it would be
My
for,
God,
like
guys, it'd be so
basically
much fun.
first for all of us.
Yeah,
right?
I've never.
Well, not for
fished salt.
you. You've done it. You've
but not
done it.
but not really. I haven't gone to like Belize and like tarpon fished
Yeah.
or like
Yeah. I see what you
Targeted
mean. I see,
permit.
Like
I
if
see
we
what
if
you
we
mean.
if we all go there and we like go there for like let's say 2 weeks and we each hook into like a fucking 100-pound tarpon, what the hell, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jesus
Yeah, like-
Christ, like that'd be insane.
Or dude, even like these 3 to 4 pound bonefish that spool
Yeah.
your ass in like
a
10
blink,
seconds.
Yeah.
blink of an eye.
They just
Yeah.
do zzz,
Like,
Yeah.
like,
They're so fast.
they're crazy.
It's just open water. They just could go, right?
but just like Aldo said, like I'm excited to see my backing. Like that's something that I haven't really experienced. Like
Until you're
It's
like,
like,
oh, this.
when you're
backing
like,
And
oh
you're
my
like-
god, my backing is almost.
And then
gone.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I might lose a fly line.
Yeah.
I might
Like I
lose
want to
everything
experience
on this
that.
reel.
I want to be nervous about losing fly line.
Yeah. No, that happened to me once Atlantic salmon fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was on this log jam on a river unnamed, and
It's all good, man.
I'm watching these fish right here,
Mhm.
and I can't swing to them, so and you can't use weighted flies.
Mm-hmm.
So I put on this, this tiny, small, unweighted fly that I can use, just like a little black bear green butt size, 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm basically check nymphing for it. I'm casting upstream. I'm watching the fly because I just see the salmon going like this.
Yeah.
He's not moving. He's not
Opening
He's
it
not
and
going
closing
brown
his
trout on
mouth.
you side to side. Just open, close. So I did like 150 casts.
Yeah.
Finally got it, hooked into the thing. I'm on this log jam. The fish goes around the corner, and I'm just looking at my reel, and just go zzz, zzz, zzz.
Yeah.
Goes around the corner. I'm just watching. I'm like, there's no way. Like, it's impossible. It goes around, past my back, and I'm like, I have no choice but to snap it off
Yeah.
because it was down through the rapids.
It's just so
it was
far.
gone, man. It was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a 30-pound Atlantic salmon.
And then you've never, you didn't hold it. It was just gone.
No, it's gone.
Yeah.
You
gone.
you just cut your backing.
It's hundreds of feet
like
away.
it
right?
was gone.
Yeah.
There was no there was no
There was no-
chasing it.
Yeah.
It's not like
Just
you can
because of my
run down
location,
rivers. It's just
If it was
gone.
like a nice, sand shore, like
Yeah.
Pebble Beach, I'd.
Yeah, you're in a
run-
canyon.
But I'm on. Yeah, it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
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 So crazy. Well, the salt's something
Salts,
we
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
we gotta do.
Imagine someone caught it and is like, oh, there's an entire fly line attached to it.
Bonus.
No, the whole backing was still on it. The line was still on.
Oh, okay,
I-
okay.
Just the fly snapped off.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought you snapped.
No,
it.
it's not like everything was just a
Oh,
yard.
I thought you
Yeah.
cut her off
I
the
thought you
backing.
cut. I thought you looked at your reel and you're like, well, took out a knife. and like,
No. I was just like, so I just grabbed it and
Yeah.
just kind of yanked it because.
You know, like mountain climbing movies where the guy cuts the.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I didn't just go full yard
See you
sail on
guys
the
later.
river.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I kind of was like, whoa, that's crazy.
No.
He lost a fly line.
Yeah, at the backing, just
Yeah.
whoa, like 300
Goodbye.
feet. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's never good to lose a fly line. Those things are expensive. But I kind of want to experience it. Like I want to be like, dude, like that fish was so big. I have no fly
But
line
one good thing about one good thing about fishing in the Keys, if you do that, there's a lot of fly shops.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
another thing being in the middle of Belize. You lose your fly line. You're like, well, there goes my week.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, true that.
You have
Yeah.
options to hit.
You have
yeah,
options.
That's true.
Right.
And the
Yeah,
keys
yeah.
is fish. The keys is fish.
I get Belize is still a British colony. There's probably some fly shop there.
And you're not really going to a town.
But I don't know. I'm just saying.
No,
Pack a
you
couple
go on those
extra.
trips, you're going a little prepared.
Yeah, you're
Like,
going-
Yeah,
You're bringing
yeah.
a couple backups,
There's a
right?
couple
You bring a bunch of reels. You got some back.
You don't want to be down there and be like, there's got to be a
Imagine
fly
like
shop.
first day you lose.
In Belize.
There's got to
On
be a
Ottawa
fly shop.
Piscat, I lost my reel. Right, like it just the spool fell in the water and
Oh.
I didn't.
It's
Oh,
bad
yeah.
angling.
Yeah, that's
But imagine, yeah, that's me. But
Guys, I
imagine,
came
like,
back. I come back. I caught a fish. I lost my reel. What?
Yeah,
How did you lose your reel?
It-
I know it was crazy.
Dude, don't ask me. I don't know.
Like the whole reel went out.
I just looked. Yeah, the spool. Like I was like doing something.
Like, were you fishing or?
No. I was getting ready, and
Okay.
I think like the spool was not like
He
attached to the reel,
sneezed and it just went.
and it just fell in the water. And then by that time, I was like
Yeah.
pulling everything. I was in my backing, and just the reel. Yeah, I cut my finger almost on
Oh,
the
no.
backing. I was like, "Fuck this!" Like,
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing we prepared and brought like 8 reels.
yeah, we had a bunch of reels. I had more rods, right? Like,
Yeah, shit
so it was
happens.
okay.
It was also
Shit
good that it wasn't one of the ones we borrowed from the Hook A guys.
That is
Yes.
very good.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred calling us up.
Yeah,
going
Fred-
like, what
Imagine,
the
like,
hell?
oh, Fred.
Fred and the boys gave us a bunch of reels for like our biggest
Right on.
fishing trip this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't one of those.
Sorry, Fred. I lost the reel.
Preparation's key. Okay, we got a third Mitchie's Fishies coming at you here.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Hit me.
Number 3. What is your best fishing memory?
Ooh.
It's a good one. Like this is like
Oh,
it's
that's a great question, man.
it's almost like every time you go out, it's a good one. You know.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had a pinpoint one,
It was like a jug giving us some good vibrations.
yeah. Man, that's hard to say.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, you
That's a
take as much time as you need.
tough question, dude. Just trying to think through. Like, I've had the opportunity to fish some awesome places and lose a lot of great fish. And
Yep.
catch a lot of great fish.
Yep.
Damn. You know what? Never even been asked that question.
There you go.
Fucking throw me off
That's the
guard
best,
here,
eh?
Mitch.
It's Mitchie's Fishies 5. It's a hard hitting
Mitchie.
shit.
Welcome to the So Fly Fishing Podcast.
Fishy bastard.
It's a tough one, man. Like, I mean, it's like people talk about it in all kinds of different ways. It's like its favorite can be like, you know, when they got into it. It could be the greatest fish in their mind. It could be what shaped them as an angler. It's just such like a
Could be a destination.
You know what? I don't even think I can't even pinpoint a moment. I just think being out on the water with guys like Donald Tom, guys like Mikey, Simon, all these guys that have had such an influence on my fishing career, my competitive career, whatever you want to call it. Just every time I'm out on the water, you're either learning something, you're laughing about something.
yeah.
Right.
Dude, I can't name one just because there's been so many. I've been so fortunate
Yeah.
to fish, I could say across the globe, and catch trout in, across Europe and in the States and up in Canada, man, Alberta, BC. Like, I can't even. There's so many moments. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like one fish. One fish that I really remember a lot of was when I was out working in the Crow's Nest Pass in Alberta, southern Alberta, and it was towards the end of the guiding season, and we had a couple of days off, and me and my good friend John Bransfield, who lives out in Fernie, BC right now, he was on the youth team with me, and we were both working out of the same fly shop, and he's got a English setter, bird dog, and just like, we're in so many ways very, very alike. And we trekked into this river in BC, and we were fishing for bull trout. And you hear about bull trout, you got to swing these giant ass streamers.
Yeah.
And I was only 15 at the time, and John was like 18 or 19, and he's got a nymphing rig rigged up, and he's nymphing because we can see these bull trout, and he's using this size 14 pink check nymph on this
My God.
like 25
Monster.
pound
Yeah.
bull trout, and he hooks it
25-pound bull trout.
And
25 pounds?
pounds, dude,
I didn't know Dolly's got that big.
pounds. And
Insane.
so he hooks this fish, and it's just in the most incredible setting, like in this canyon with these huge mountains with the snow on the tips, and we get this fish, and I just remember like hugging the guy, and just one of those moments, right? And there's been so many of those moments. I just had to think of one for you, but there's been so many of those moments. Like,
It's just like you just take it in.
you take it in.
I don't think I've ever heard of somebody catching a bull trout on a nymph.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it happens. I
Yeah.
mean, it did.
it did.
25
I'll
pounds?
show you a picture after this, but it's no joke.
We'll post that picture in the show notes.
There we go.
And that was just one of those moments where you're just like,
It's just one of those moments where you're so thankful for being a fly fisherman. Like shit,
Yeah.
you know, like, and having the opportunity to go some of those crazy, awesome places.
yeah,
And
you're right.
being with people that share that same sentiment with you,
it's special. Yeah,
it's pretty special, man.
Yeah. yeah,
So
yeah. I know what you mean. It's true. And it's like, how do you cast that well? I don't know. It's just an innate thing
yeah,
that
that's
you can
it, right?
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just practice, experience, and
Yeah.
repetition.
Well, here's this might lead, that answer might lead into this question. This is number 4 actually. Why do you fly fish at all? Why fly fish?
Why?
Why fly fish at all?
Man.
Apart from the obvious.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of the most peaceful ways to get away and just forget about things for a while. And, you know, that's a classic answer, but it's an honest answer in a way. For me, it's getting out. It's being with friends. It's a way of escaping a lot of, you know, man, when life's closing in on you and you just want to escape for a little bit and you just want to get on the river and enjoy it. That's your time. And fly fishing is a great escape. Just being out on the river. It's not even about catching fish. It's just being at one with whatever's going on around you and just forgetting about the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the main attraction. Obviously, there's a lot of things that have kind of brought me in closer, like competitive fly fishing, like guiding. But it's never like a chore. It's a personal choice, which I really look forward to because I really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a great way to put it. It's kind of interesting when people say like it's an escape, because it's so true that it is in a way, because it's so it's just such a different, interesting. Fly fishing, it just kind of takes you to those places that are just beautiful, you know, and
Yeah.
gives you those moments.
You know, it takes you to places which a lot of people may have not been
Yeah.
and not seen, and it's a one-on-one experience with the outdoors.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, Mitchie's Fishies 5. Final question of Mitchie's Fishies.
Mitch, you wait up there for a sec.
Yes, for sure.
Hot second, Mitch.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Right on.
Gabathy's focusing.
Okay.
Okay, this is one of our favorite Mitchie's Fishies, I think. It's
turned into my
favorite.
yeah.
Because everybody's like, we've always found people have such awesome answers to this, and I'm always blown away by how people are like,
Yeah.
they say something that I'm like, oh my God, that's such a great answer. Mitchie's Fishies number 5. What fly pattern represents you best and why? If you were a fly pattern, what would you be? And why?
I think you guys all know the answer to this one.
What do we got? I wonder what it could be.
The worm isn't going to squirm itself. You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, somebody's got to squirm the worm. And I think that's what it's a terrible answer, but it's so true. Just because of a lot of things that have gone on. Like, I mean, that fly has really been a shining star for the past, I want to say 10 years, 5 years, but in the last 3 it's really taken off, and for a lot of reasons.
It took off for me this year.
Okay. It's
in a big, humongous way.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of reasons it takes off, but the main one is because it just catches fish, right?
Yeah.
And
And you know what? Colin Huff just catches fish. So it's a fitting fly for you.
it's a fitting fly, and when you put 2 and 2 together and you want to really get out and hammer some fish, squirming worm is a great fly, and it's versatile because you can use it in lakes and rivers and slay equally.
Yeah. Does it represent you as an angler a little bit?
Damn, that's kind of a
That's a 6 right there. Mitchie's Fishy 6.
ooh. Does it represent me as an angler?
Or do the qualities of the fly
No.
embody you at all? Its
I
versatility.
don't know.
I don't know.
I know. You kept referring to yourself as a utilitarian.
Yeah.
angler. That's a purely utilitarian
It is, for
fly.
sure.
And versatility.
It is, but it's not traditional. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But getting back to the roots of it, is it a fly? Ooh.
That's a good question.
And
I think it is.
I think it is too, because, you know, it still takes a man with 2 hands and a vice, and
Yep.
Yeah.
And thought.
And
Thought goes into it. It's not just a random bullshit pattern.
No, it's just one of those. Yeah.
There's thought.
No, certainly, right?
Yeah,
And-
trout
and it
opener.
makes sense.
Trout opener makes sense. Fishing that thing on the credit. The water's up. There's bloodworms flowing through the river.
Oh man.
Oh, Aldo,
Oh man.
keep
Yeah.
it together. No, man, it's
That fly literally has me excited for next season.
yeah.
I mean, for
Squirm
next
Nation.
season.
Squirm Nation.
So if you open, I got a lake box and like a lake bag.
Yeah.
With all my reels, like most competitive fly anglers have, and got all my reels and I got all my fly boxes, and I got them all labeled.
Mhm.
Recently, I've had to put a fly box just called Squirmies.
That's
It's just a box full of
various
worms,
squirmies,
man.
Like various colors,
various colors, various
size.
weights. Yeah. It's,
What's your favorite colors for squirms?
pink?
Yeah, okay. That's very original.
Yeah. No, yeah, just keep it to. Ian Troop thinks that red is like the money shot,
Oh yeah.
especially for brown trout. I'm like, Ian, get off this red train, dog. Like,
I'll be honest. I've only used pink,
yeah.
so
stick to
and
it.
it works.
Stick to
so
it.
I'm.
No, they
I've
came
seen
out with
blue and shit. and I'm
yeah,
like,
they came
nah,
out with
fuck that-
blue
fuck
and
that
like all
shit.
these fluorescents and all these different glow in the dark. But
It's already a squirmies, man. Just don't.
A
make
worm's
it
a
more
worm, man.
complicated.
keep it
Yeah.
pink.
Yeah, that's it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Root beer color.
No, it's just it's a great all around fly, especially if
Amazing.
if you're just getting into it.
Yep.
You just want to go catch fish, and
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
you don't need a whatever traditional fly.
Yeah.
Right.
You just want something. You just want to go catch the fish. You want to get people interested.
You want to
into
get into it.
right?
Yeah. You want to get
And you
into
know
it.
what? It's the bung
Yeah.
has been my go-to guiding tactic right now
Yeah.
because people get excited about it.
Yeah.
Because of the visual aspect of watching
Yes.
the bung, because it's so
Go under.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you're kind of
Yeah.
you're watching what's going on. You watch the bung go down, you can tell them when to set the hook.
Yeah.
And yeah, man,
It's kind of a great way to get people to think about what's happening.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you can really dial in the depth. I mean, what I've done is, so I got my bung hanging on the surface, and below that, I run a tag every foot.
Mhm.
So, because you're only allowed 3 flies in competition, your bung has a hook on it, so it's
Yeah.
technically considered a fly.
Yeah.
And so that way, below that, you can rotate from 13 feet to 14 feet really quick.
Right. Yeah.
Just a quick
Moving
adjustment
that
instead
fly
of having
Oh man.
That's a good point. Moving the bung.
instead of taking stuff off, doing a triple surgeon, tying another tag,
Yeah.
just quick things.
Yeah.
And you're fishing again, and you can just really adapt.
Yeah.
Because for example, in the 3-hour sessions, fish change those depths depending on where the sun's at, cloud cover,
Yeah.
everything. So being able to have that versatility is pretty key.
Pretty key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Where's that word came from? Why is it called a bung?
It was it's actually a technique. I don't want to get this wrong, but it's from the UK.
Okay.
It's a technique which has been derived from there for many years. And it's essentially just before the squirmy wormy tainted its whole the whole technique. It was used for suspending chironomids.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's it for Mitchie's Fishies 5.
That's it.
That's
Shut her
it.
down.
And that's, I think, like a wrap on an awesome,
Let's wrap on an awesome show.
show.
Colin, do you want to leave people with something like you want to wrap this up with something? You want
Yeah,
to tell
we'll wrap
people
it
where
up.
to find you?
Yeah.
Whatever you want. A message.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, man. I think all in all, fly fishing is a great sport. Great way to get outdoors. Great way to get on the water.
Yep.
Find something new. If you feel cooped up and you just want to escape for a little while, there's a lot of ways to do it, and I think fly fishing is the most organic way to do it. Just get out there, find something new, and discover what's out there. I think fly fishing has shown me a lot. It's showed me more than just how to catch a fish, but to enjoy the outdoors and appreciate everything that's around us. And this is This has been a great episode with you guys. I really appreciate you guys having me.
And I really appreciate
Of course,
you
my
coming. I'm so glad we finally got.
So
Hey, man,
glad.
Colin, it's been a while. We wanted to have you on the
Yeah,
show,
I
so
know.
thanks for coming.
It's been
I
so
appreciate
fun,
it, guys.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, so
Like if they want to book you or do you talk to you? or
yeah, so
whatever,
my guiding page is Brightwater Anglers on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Colin Huff.
Mm.
And that's about it. Yeah.
Brad, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks
Yeah,
for
man,
having
thanks
me,
so
guys.
much.
Really appreciate
It
it.
was an awesome show.
It's really good.
Show.
That's it for me, Mitch. Aldo?
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Of course, you can always find our stuff at the SoFly Crew on Instagram. We're the SoFly Crew on Facebook, and if you want to email us with any questions, comments, or concerns, or suggestions, we've been starting to get more and more suggestions and feedback, which
Very
is great.
true.
So you can find us the SoFly Crew at gmail.com and find all of our content at SoFly.ca. This is me, Aldo. Thanks for listening, guys. And Colin, thanks for coming on the show.
Gap.
Hey, thanks, everyone. And don't forget, barbless is better.
That's a sign, yes, sir.
Nice sign off. Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
New for 2019.
I'm
Boom.
trying.
Thanks for listening, and peace.